Market back to the upside here to get going on a Friday morning. Pretty good way as well. 1.4%. Just took out pre-market highs. 475 here now on the Qs after yet another negative session yesterday. Lots of individual movers to touch on this morning as well. Tesla back in action. Not really doing a heck of a lot here this morning, but they're going to come up with apparently a smaller, quote unquote, lower priced. Every time they say that, I always get a bit of a chuckle. Lower priced Model Y over in China, so we'll keep an eye on that. There's some airline related news this morning. We'll touch on Boeing, we'll touch on AAPL. It's not really doing anything, but yet another flight incident, this time in Denver with an American Airlines plane. Fire was the cause of that. So everyone was fine, it seems like. Anyways, Alta Beauty with earnings as well. We'll touch on ULTA here, but not a lot on the economic calendar this morning until 10 o'clock. We'll get Michigan consumer sentiment. There is a inflation portion to that, so keep that in mind. 10 a.m., but before that, not too much to touch on.
No, not too much. We've got a couple of good headlines here. Peloton in focus, up 8%, getting upgraded today. We'll talk more about that. DocuSign reported yesterday, and by all accounts, it was well received, up over 11% to start the morning. QBTS, Quantum, continuing to do well this week after their supercomputer or their quantum computer was reviewed positively by Science Magazine on Wednesday, and then they reported earnings that were better than expected, so we'll keep an eye on that. And China, Brendo, continues to be strong. FXI already up 3% here in the pre-market.
I can't remember the last time we had a year that's been so different than the prior in the sense that, I mean, Europe is super strong. China is super strong. Past 5 years, it's been completely the opposite. So
Absolutely.
yeah, ADRs back to the upside. Overall, the market trying to bounce here nicely to start things off this morning. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday, Joe. Thanks for filling in here this week and for a couple of days here. And you're doing a great job. You got the afternoon show, the morning show, the midday show. Yeah, welcome everybody. It's Friday. We're going to have some energy here today. The market is nicely juiced right here, up 1.5% on the NASDAQ. Looks like we might get that move higher that we've been looking for. I'm only writing down longs right now, so I'm trying to be like super positive about everything. I really like what this quantum D-Wave, Sharif just nailed that, up 12% there off a good week with earnings, continue to go higher. I don't know about getting over that $10 mark here today, but we're at $7.75. NVIDIA's trying to push 120 as we speak right now, 119. And look, you want to know where there's strength in the market. I mean, it's not rocket science here. We've been watching NVIDIA for quite a while. This just keeps on ticking up here in the pre-market. So we'll see where this one winds up going. I mean, what a great little recovery here. And it's just silent, right? Like everybody is worried when stocks tank, and as they should be. But at the same time, NVIDIA just this week, if we're taking the Monday bottom of 106, you're up now over 10% over the last 3 days, right? So you're up $13 on 106. That's great. So we're happy with that. But I mean, it's kind of, I was saying there's some green shoots here today. We'll see if Michigan confidence hits properly. That's going to be 10 o'clock. Adair and I were talking about that on the after hours show as well. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty positive about everything. Tesla's looking like it wants to hit 250. I think it does. We can get 250 in the pre-market. That's nothing there. I'm looking for a 242, 243 long here in Tesla. I want to play some dips. Yeah, but things are working out. That Peloton, as we just mentioned there, not super exciting. Only less than 300,000 shares. Kind of a nothing burger, but something to look at there. DocuSign had movement yesterday as well. And I wanted to, so a name that were you on Intel yesterday?
Yesterday I traded.
Yeah. So this is another name here to look at here.
Yes.
Intel touching that $24 mark. That's pretty key there as we get halfway back. Again, people, including myself, we were pretty disappointed that we didn't get anything out the last time we were here. Now we're going to get another chance possibly to get this 25, 26 print here on Intel. I'm not sure about that today, but here's the 200 period moving average. Nice move there on obviously a new appointment of CEO with Pat Gelsinger gone and Bhutan now in charge. So we'll see if Intel can catch some waves as well. But what's on your mind early here?
Yeah, well, I ran my scans this morning here, guys, and NVDA, IBIT, and Tesla were at the top of them. I like the setups here in the pre-market. But I also want you guys to pay attention to the options chain as well, too. We've been talking a lot throughout the sessions on high levels of open interest. And I think that's what you want to focus on here in NVDA as well too. So you want to look onto this call side here, and you'll see that there's a significant amount of open interest at that 120 strike price here in NVDA. And you can see that we're getting that magnet effect here. So hopefully there's a large enough participant in order for us to grab all that liquidity and then continue higher in NVDA. But that's my number one game plan. You can see that we're up 3% as well too. And we've had a hefty haircut in the past couple of months in this name. So I'm looking for a nice rebound. I mentioned before that the market isn't necessarily a speedboat. It doesn't turn around that fast. It's more of a cruise ship. It takes a while. And you can see over the past couple of sessions here, guys, that we have been consolidating and moving in the eastward direction. So that's a positive sign here for the market to start to rebound. We do have the Qs up about 1.5% here. So it's looking pretty good. We're trending, we're trending pretty strong, and we're going to look for a continuation of this trend. Sean and I were talking earlier. He's like, he likes this pre-market movement. So if you can catch any form of a pullback in NVDA at the open and an entry around the volume weighted average price, then I think you're going to be set up pretty good here, guys.
Tell you. Oh, man. All right. Lots of things to touch on here this morning. You mentioned Peloton. Let's just get right into that because there's an upgrade here this morning, and Peloton, just took out the highs. I was noticing here on decent volume as well. So, I mean, you had one at one point, right?
We have one in the condo. It's in the basement.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
It's quite good. It's an amazing machine. I had no complaints about the actual bike itself. It's just the stock wasn't doing that well right now.
I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
All right, here we go. So Canaccord has upgraded Peloton from hold to buy, maintaining, though, the same price target of $10. Here's the deal. They're projecting a turnaround in fiscal 2026 as management rolls out new revenue initiatives. They also look for subscription growth, which is, you got to wait for that one. They're saying 2027, driven by the introduction of what they're saying complementary fitness products. Didn't describe what those were. Canaccord goes on to say that they believe it's a key turning point for Peloton here with substantial upside given the current stock price, and the firm sees potential for long-term business transformation and revenue acceleration. Brendo, not really giving details, just saying new products and more revenue coming without reason why.
I don't understand why they've never really. I mean, they're starting to now, show up in hotels, show up in condos, like you were saying. But I don't understand why they haven't gone really, really hard in that direction because it seems like the natural. If people want to be at a gym, like why not have Pelotons more and more in a gym? But anyways, came back in here, but day highs 8.5%, guys, for Peloton.
Yeah, actually, Brendan, it doesn't work in a gym or in a condo for the main reason that it's a subscription model. So the thing is, they're not actually making that much money on the bike itself. I agree with Sharif. I have a Peloton as well. Extremely. I mean, Sharif's more the gym guy, but it's a really high quality machine. And but that's not where it is, right? It's $60 a month here in Canada to subscribe to it, right? And so the thing is that when you're at a gym, people are already paying a gym membership. There's classes there and all that. So do you actually want to go to a gym just to watch an iPad and work out with that, right? So I think it's a great idea.
Sean.
Yep. Sorry, go on.
Question.
Yep.
I've actually been in two in the past year or two that have had an entire room full of Pelotons. Hotels, I'm speaking.
Hotels,
so, So I'm not sure if they're actually paying the subscription price for the entire room full of them, or one of the options was you could log into your own account. So my point was simply, if you had a subscription and you were at a hotel with these, you were able to access it that way. It just seems like an easy fix.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually they have a deal with one of the hotel chains. Where they were putting them in the rooms, and that would make sense that they just apply it to the room fee or whatever. And logging in as yourself, it's that Netflix model.
Yeah.
You can go into a hotel room and log into your Netflix.
Into your Netflix, yeah.
But that's the problem. You have to be a subscriber to Netflix. Mm-hmm. So they have to get people on board that actually would have these subscriptions, right? Yeah. And I think that's a big thing. We canceled it. It's too expensive. Apple has free,
workout videos.
What my wife was doing, I never did this, but you can, because I was using when we had the subscription, but Apple you can cast it or log into Apple Fitness on the TV, get on your Peloton and basically do the exact same thing. They tell you turn it up, turn it down, get the things going, but no, look, I mean, I like I like the product. I mean, we've had it for a couple of years.
I mean, that's the thing though as well too, Sean. And people were just calling it a stationary bike with an iPad on it.
Yeah.
So you can and it's unfortunate that it went through the run that it did. You know, during COVID, and we were talking about that earlier this morning. But again, with Peloton, when you're paying $60 a month, it's like, okay, well, you have the gym membership on top of that, as Sean mentioned. And it's like, if you're going to start looking to reduce costs in the household, I think that Peloton and that subscription is probably going to be one of the first names dropped, in my opinion, because it is hefty and it's inexpensive. And you can watch YouTube videos, you can join fitness classes, watch previously recorded classes on YouTube as well, too. So, yeah, I've never used one, but I heard they're not too bad. So,
I mean,
but more
it's
of a
just
stationary
spin classes, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
exactly. It's a spin class. So,
I mean, look, Peloton. Let's just look at the stock here. So here it is on a weekly thing. I mean, we're not saying things that the market doesn't already know,
right?
You know, I mean, they've had a huge problem. Look when it was ripping, right? During COVID, when subscriptions were going through the roof. You know, people are at home.
Exactly.
People aren't able to go to the gym. You know, now people can go to the gym, and you're seeing what's happening there, right? But anyways, down to $6 on the weekly. It's actually not looking too bad. You're at the 50-period moving average on the weekly. I don't really look at those, but on a daily chart, it's actually much. You know, we were $10 3 weeks ago. Now you're $5.50 2 days ago. So this name's down 50% in 3 weeks. So it's looking similar to a lot of these names. Can it get back up here? Sure it can. This is a good start for them. Breaking through the 200 period on the daily. I like the stock. Right now, I don't think there's enough juice with it on the day. It's only up it's only done 287,000 shares. We're spending a lot of time talking about Peloton today, but yeah, it dips into 620, 630. Looks like it's pretty good there as Peloton catches that upgrade, and we'll have to see what winds up happening. There are some rebalances. It says net imbalances for March 2025. We'll go over that. I don't think that's happening today, as normally it's on the third Friday. We had talked about this. This would only be second Friday there in March. Maybe Peloton's a NASDAQ name, so we won't get any imbalances. Let's just have a quick look to see this. So the only name worth anyone's look today on this imbalance locator, of course, it's QBTS. Right there, over 1 million shares already on the imbalance. And then, by the way, gold, we talked about GLD over the last, GLD, not GLAD. Oh man, GLAD, that GLAD wrap. You ever use saran wrap?
Saran wrap? Yeah. When you recover stuff that you cooked up, right?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, gold today pumping to new highs one more time. Do we have $3,000 an ounce in us or what? Because right here, it is just nice couple days here for GLD, nice couple days for spot gold. We'll see if it continues higher. Obviously, the US dollar continues its movements as well. So the strength there in gold offsetting maybe potential weakness there in the US dollar. So yeah, we like all of that. So good talk there about Peloton, and we'll figure it out there. A lot of people have their Pelotons up for sale. So if anyone's interested, we can go grab them from our viewers. But so strength on companies report there, up 500% year over year on Q4 bookings for QBTS. So nice strength there, up 12%. All right, let's go back. The sticky note's almost out. It's littered with longs.
All right, Friday, it's Michael Noss time. We'll get a look at his version of optimism, Mr. Noss, on a Friday. I mean, you're trying. I appreciate the effort anyways. But
I'm trying. What are
you seeing under the hood here today?
Yeah, I think in my email I said I'm going to give everyone a little bit of hope or at least some cope. So we'll see what's going on there. So just to get to it, the first slide that I have is in a message that I got from a colleague of mine, a fellow CMT, who tagged me in this and said, we got to take a look and see kind of what happens next. So basically the message is just saying, there has not been a back-to-back green day on the SPY, so no 2 green days in a row since February 19th, and February 19th was the high. So at least that's an interesting statistical point that we can then go and do a little bit of math behind, as again, I called my website Stats Edge Trading for a reason, is that I'm looking for statistics to kind of help guide me as opposed to just technical. So interesting. It's obviously not a good thing. You'd love to see back-to-back no back-to-back red days, but let's see what happens when we have no back-to-back green days for at least this long. So the next chart I have is just the S&P 500, but I want you guys to focus on the lower indicator. So this is just an indicator that I built that just shows the amount of days, one of those shark fin graphs, I think they call it. So the idea is it will continue to go up as there's more and more periods of time with no back-to-back green days. And then when we get a back-to-back green day, you see it just drops right to zero. So it's kind of like, the way I describe it is that old sign of how many days until since a workplace injury, and right, just keeps going up until someone gets injured, and then it drops to zero. So we are at the highest, at least in this window of time in the last couple months that we've been, and that's 16 days in a row without a back-to-back green day. So it's definitely, at least statistically, significant. We're seeing this event where it's rare, so we can at least go back in time and see what happens next when this generally happens. So it's funny, I was doing it, and then a couple other CMTs were doing it as well. So I took this chart from Grant Hawkridge, the next chart there. Grant Hawkridge is a great follow on Twitter. He does a lot of this kind of statistical stuff when it comes to breadth and things like that. And his chart just looked better than mine. So this is just a zoomed out chart and highlighting all the times where we've done this 16 days or more of this sell-off. And you're seeing kind of maybe clustering around lows when this happens. Could be one of those events that just says, okay, this is capitulation, this is, institutions blowing up and hedge funds blowing up, and that's what's causing this surge down. Just by eyeballing it, right, you see around that 2018, 2019, which is very familiar because that's the last time we had this same administration with tariffs and all this kind of same stuff in the news, and a little bit of bottom there in COVID, and then also right near the bottom of the 2022, 2023 bear market as well. So, now we can go in and actually test what happens later. So this chart, again, was from the same gentleman, Grant Hawkridge, but just the next graph there is just showing, he listed everything. I just kind of chopped it and shortened it up. Generally what happens 5, 10 days, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year later, after this period of time of at least 15 to 16 back-to-back these without a back-to-back green day. Well, what happens? Now, you can see 5 and 10 days, kind of a coin flip. So the relief might not come soon, whether or not we're up or not. And then if you look at the average gain versus the average loss, it's about 1-to-1. So there's no real statistical significance 5 days or 10 days out. But you get to the 1 month where I've drawn that pink arrow, and you're talking a 63% chance we're higher a month from now. And when we're higher, we're up about 5%, and when we're lower, we're down about 4%. So a little bit of a gain there. The real gain comes 3 months from now, showing that there's a 75-ish% chance that we're higher. And then 6 months and 1 year is also 75%. Now, there's always a 75% chance that we're up 1 year from wherever you pick on the market. That's just the statistics behind the S&P 500. But just showing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. Generally speaking, this is not an environment in which you want to sell, because if you look in all of these cases, you have an average gain bigger than an average loss. You have a little bit of a statistical advantage behind doing this from buying in this area as opposed to running for the door. And then this next chart is just from a friend as well, another CMT, Ryan Diedrich. This is also just a little bit of hope for everyone there. And this is the amount of times that a correction, which was technically achieved yesterday, which arbitrarily is just a 10% down move from all-time highs, versus how many times that turns into a bear market. And turns into a bear market about 25% of the time, and doesn't turn into a bear market about 75% of the time. So there's a lot of statistics out there that are just saying that this might be an area in which we start to look for bottoms on things. If you have your shopping list of names that you wanted to buy for some sort of fundamental or story reason, and they're really depressed here, maybe time to start dipping a toe in the water with, stop losses and all the kind of risk management there. Obviously not investment advice, but just a lot of things pointing in our favor that maybe things will at least calm down for the next little bit, and we can start to see some recovery, hopefully, in the near future. Because I'm still in the camp that this year is going to be a do-nothing year for the market. So I think that this chop is just that. Maybe we're down 10% and then we rally up 5%, and we end the year plus or minus a couple percent. That's the bet that I'm taking. So I'm buying here. But that's just me, and that's some statistics behind some things that are kind of give someone a little bit of hope.
One thing that would be interesting to almost add to that, I mean, 25%, you might get a lower low. So yes, if we do get, a bit of a bounce here, as you said, maybe 5-10% of a bounce, how many times does that then lead to another leg down and a lower low on this initial move? So very, very interesting though. If Sharif and I were just talking there a little bit about timelines for this and how much time we have to maybe, as you were saying, get some names together and start looking for places and areas to buy. But it would be really interesting to see how many times that ends up being a lower low and then another leg down.
Yeah, and that's something I can look at too, is how many times it's definitive low, because that last chart just basically said, 25%, it's not, or it is going to be a bear market, which is negative 20% move. So it's basically saying that between here, there's another 10% to go until we're in a bear market, which if we continue to go in the same manner that we're doing this, would not be a fun way to enter a bear market. So we do have some room until these go. And again, with the statistics of buying this dip here, yeah, it looks like 1 month, 3 months out. So you're not in a hurry to go buy anything right now, but what this does, I think, as traders and investors and everything, gives you a little time. Start shopping around, start looking at what you think the next themes will be and charting those out and setting your levels, right? So we don't have to hurry and run for the buy button. But there's some statistics that we might be near at least a short-term low for, in a couple, 3 months to a year. So it would be a good time to, if you have a little cash, start shopping around, I think.
And the other aspect of this, which is unknown and maybe a bit of a variable, is the simple fact that there's so much macro influence on the market currently that if any of these, tariff issues suddenly get resolved, which who knows they might, we'll be right back up, faster than you can even push the buy button, I think.
Yeah, and that was my case for China, right? I've been talking about China forever on here and for a long time. And it wasn't that I think good news is going to come from China, but I think it's just any lack of bad news. And I think that's where we are in the market right now, is that there's so much, everyone's just so bummed that if anything just comes out and says, okay, we're, alleviating tariffs a little bit, or at least this kind of tit for tat is over, just a calming down of the market. I think doesn't have to be good news, but just less bad news, I think, is enough to get us a little bit of a rally here.
We'll take that. Less bad news on a Friday. Mr. Noss, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Talk to you Monday.
We definitely want less bad news.
Yeah, I mean,
especially on a Friday.
For sure.
Thanks, Michael. And I think that, that's what I was talking about too. I tweeted that out earlier, that there's some green shoots here today with some of these stocks starting to finally get back to the upside. Plus, we've had other good news this week with CPI and PPI coming in. So I think economically here today, we do have some, backdrop to look at. The problem is, though, and it's exactly what Brendan said, is we need the president to start talking more positively about the U.S. economy a little bit. Like, why can't he tweet out something about how great the CPI numbers were, right? No, seriously. Like, he could say, look at this, man, inflation seems to be fine. We're doing the right path here. We're counteracting tariffs that have been placed on us. We're evening the playing field. Like, there's that kind of stuff, explanation about exactly what they're doing, instead of just like, fire one off here, one off there. Like, we're going to get you. How dare you do this? Like,
yeah.
I just think that, what Trump and what everybody's trying to do now is just sort of clean up some of the past spending mistakes, obviously with Doge and where they think that's going, and trying to clean up some of the government there as far as useless spending. Whether or not you believe in those moves is another complete thing. But like, I didn't hear any positive talk from the administration about those numbers this week.
No, none.
And I think that I thought it would have been something that they might have jumped on there. And then next week, so the other thing too about next week is it's Fed. So we know that Trump will, in the past, has talked about Fed and what he thinks Jerome Powell's up to and if he's doing a good job or not. So hopefully next week we'll get some reads maybe on the economy from the president, and it'll be a little more positive. So we'll just wait to see. I've been buying. I'm not rushing to hit the buy button, but I'm trying to buy, put in a little bit, right? Try to buy some of these indexes a little bit every week. But then it just gets hit down even lower.
I agree with you on that front too, Sean. The market is most definitely headline sensitive here. and a little more positivity, that it could definitely put some tailwinds behind this market. If we are down quite a bit, if we can pull up my chart as well too here, on the SPY here, guys, still down about 9 1/4 there. So, I mean, I like what Sean's point there, a little more positivity, CPI, inflation under control. GDP still expected to be at a good rate, a growth rate here as well too, guys. So I think that the administration can be a little bit more positive on what's going on. You can see from previous earnings report, NVIDIA is still growing. Some of these fundamentals are still backing these moves up to the top side here in the market. So the headline sensitivity here is definitely hindering what we have going on, and that's why you can see that you got to be really weary of what's going on, because you don't know what Donald is going to say next. And I think that's the fear, especially looming with tariffs and everything along those lines. So I believe we can get a rally. We had CPI starting to come in here. It's about 2.8, better than expected. So I think they're winning the battle with inflation, and I think Jerome Powell's done a fantastic job and will continue to do so. Maximum employment, the dual mandate, he's sticking to it. And I don't know, I think we get a pause here at this next meeting because he did say higher for longer, and I think he's going to stick to that game plan, guys.
My bad. I mean, people are saying that he did tweet something out about CPI and egg prices.
Oh, he said he's going to get them under control. He's going to get egg prices
yesterday.
Right.
So
so
that's good that he's doing that. And let's just see where we can go from here. Just a little bit more positivity, but it's right to what you're saying. He's just cleaning up some of the dumpster fires that was there, and he's always been this sort of guy talking about tariffs. It was something that he ran on.
Yeah,
so now they're doing it, and unfortunately, we sit here as a trading show and talk about stocks and talk about longs and talk about shorts. So this is just the ebbs and flows of what we do. It's not the president's job. It's no one's job to worry about the stock market. It's trying to do what they feel is best for the country
and the economy
over the next 4 years while he'll be in office, right? And then after that, it gets passed along to the next administration, which will either undo or continue to do what they've been doing here. And I just think more, especially here in Canada, we had Kevin O'Leary on. We don't have, like Mark Carney's there now. And that guy, again, really smart guy as far as finance is concerned, Bank of Canada, Bank of England. Really, I think he's probably a good person to get into a boardroom with Donald, and I'm just excited to see when that happens. Mark Carney and Big Doug Ford actually met a couple days ago at a little restaurant that me and my family go to in Etobicoke.
Oh, really?
And my wife, it's called Wally's.
Wally, is that?
It's up on Islington.
Okay.
It's Kipling.
Oh, the breakfast. The breakfast
joint.
I used to go there too.
They have great gyros there.
Right by Rexdale Boulevard.
Yes,
there.
perfect.
Right,
Bang. Okay,
there,
you're a West End guy?
Yeah, man. I grew up right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 70.
So you grew up in Ford Nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, okay. So, so we have a lot more in common than we think. Yeah. So, they met there.
Oh, really?
So that's apparently that's a Doug Ford joint right there. And, so they met.
Well, the Canlin's right there, too, right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Right down the street.
So we're, okay, that's funny. I didn't realize you're from around there. But anyways, so I think that there's more talks coming. And I think that the more positive. Canada can, not retaliate, but give back some, give and take there, get a strategy down, then I think that's what they're looking for, right? We know that it's not a fentanyl problem. Everybody, everybody knows that. It's not, we're not having illegal aliens or anything crossing into the United States from Canada. I mean, let's just not get it twisted.
That's what they said too, though. You've seen Donald say it multiple times, is that short-term pain for the longer-term gain, right? So I think that's the narrative. And we can see it very clearly here in the market. So hopefully that comes into...
And we keep our fentanyl here, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man. We got enough demand over here.
Walk down
we don't need to bring it anywhere else. Yeah. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. It's upgrades and downgrade time. Let's see if there's anything else here that we can trade.
We're going to kick things off here with Robert W. Baird giving an upgrade here to American Express of about 1.5%. Crown Castle earnings day one, and they're getting an upgrade here from Raymond James. Pelaton with an upgrade from Canaccord Genuity, as mentioned earlier, cycling higher with a $10 price target. Six Flags actually down this morning right now, but getting a Barclays upgrade. Downgrades, we have Citigroup downgrading two communications names, which has been one of the stronger sectors so far this year. T-Mobile and Charter both getting downgraded by Citigroup, though Charter's actually trading slightly higher pre-market. Equifax getting downgraded here by Exane BNP Paribas, while Copart getting a downgrade here by Argus. Some interesting names. Back to you.
And I always thought that, AXP, like for example, some of the credit card names, American Express, Visa, MasterCard. American Express, I thought was, best of breed. All three of them have different uses, right? Obviously, American Express is going to be a little bit more business, a little bit more higher end, taking the yearly fees and whatnot, providing different opportunities. As this market comes back in and companies are looking to potentially save a little bit, I could see some of the black cards, not being used as much these days. But again, a nice little upgrade. This is kind of what we're looking for. I'd want to see this a little bit more, where you get some consolidation. You're only now consolidating over a few days. But this is a good move right now. If we can get above the 200 period now, then it's given us this base down here at 250. I don't think, like Michael talked about, like you and I always talk about, and like we all do, it may be a little early to get into some of these plays. But if we can base out down here, just maybe give it next week and not break through this 250, and we can somehow get over 270, then I think you can get back going. I'm trying to come up with the point of it's not really worth catching falling knives because you don't know how sharp it is. And it's like, it could just keep on cutting all the way in. And the next thing you know, you're out that 10% because you got in a little bit too early. They're all going to look, here's Visa, it's something very similar. Except for, I don't think Visa's under the 200 period like AXP is. But at the end of the day, let's see if we can base out, because if you like the story and you like the stock, well, then you're thinking about it getting back to all-time highs anyways. So let them settle down. Wow, American Express, no wonder why they picked on that or why that's an upgrade there today. It's much, much lower than where Visa is right now as a percentage loss. So yeah, I think I like American Express if I was going to pick on one of those two, American Express versus Visa. Right there, I like the chart a little bit better on AXP. So.
Oh, okay. You like I like
anything on that board hit for you?
Yeah, I like Visa, to be honest with you, a little bit more than American Express. So it hasn't been hit as tough here. Sean, you can see we're only down about 10% here, a little bit over than that. But then if we go over to American Express. The XP, we're down quite a bit here, so it's taken quite a bit of a haircut here, down 20% off those highs, guys. So I do like Visa more than American Express. Do I have one? No, but I know there's some good benefits with it along those lines.
So you're choosing the one that has been hit less because there's obviously a little bit more strength in that name.
Exactly, okay. Right? So you can see that it hasn't been hit as hard, so maybe the recovery won't be as strong. But again, less of a haircut, a little bit more stable. And that's, I think, what you want to look for in this market is just being able to stabilize your portfolio. And if you can see these fintech companies not taking a big of a haircut as some of the other ones, then I think that's the one that you want to go with.
All right, so not that I don't agree with you by any stretch of the imagination, because, we have no idea what's going to happen here. But there it is right here. The PE right now for American Express is 18. Right? The PE for your boy Visa right here is, that's not V. Oh, this is Visa right here, just to show you.
11.
Yeah. No, it's 33.
Oh, okay. So a little bit more
double
expensive.
The price on the PE ratio there. And let me just check out. Look, I'm just finding this out for the first time.
Yeah, for sure.
And the same thing here with MasterCard.
37.
So MasterCard and Visa both pushing low to high 30s, while AXP is at an 18 multiple. So just giving you a little bit of valuation there on the upgrades and downgrades. Thanks, Adara, for all of that. On the downside there, Equifax, T-Mobile. T-Mobile's been really hot recently as well with the communication sector, so that could be in for a slowdown if you were thinking about anything over there. But really, realistically, no one's cutting their cell phone bills. Like, no one's... No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the last subscription that you need a cell phone, you need data, you need all that, do you? I think so.
Yeah, well, in these day and ages, right? You can't just go around using Wi-Fi. I don't think everybody still need.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Everyone seems to have a phone. So I do like that space. All right, it's 9:04. Let's go going. Look, scan that watch list. That's something that's very important. We run down this every single day. It gives you some great trading ideas. Along with near the bottom, there's also running stocks as well, low float names that are having outsized moves. So it's not just a watch list full of NVIDIAs and Palantirs. We do have a lot of information on there, including upgrades, not upgrades and downgrades, moving higher, moving lower, plus economic numbers. So watch out, 10 o'clock consumer confidence there. Michigan sentiment. Another consumer look. So we'll be excited for that one. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go see what the boys are up to.
All right, guys, 55.27. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES March contract. We're trying to break above 5,600 with the overnight high currently 55.88. So here's the deal. We're going to use 55.50, hopefully this time, as support, and we'll use 5,600 as resistance. Let's see how this day ends up.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Free stuff for you. Top link in the description gets you to the sign-up page. All you need is your email address, and then you get that for free. Absolutely free every day. Has everything that's moving in the pre-market and why associated to it. Let's start with Tesla. This morning. Forgot to mention early on this morning, gold as well, continuing to march higher. All-time highs here in the pre-market once again for gold. Some of the gold stocks higher as a result. Some guy named Ross thinks Tesla is still too expensive despite a 50% plunge. And I kid, obviously, but it's, where is it? Gerber and Kawasaki Wealth Investment Management in an interview yesterday. So, I mean, just an opinion, but it's come down 50%.
Bad.
And we're trying to bounce here again today.
Well, they're trying to do stuff here to move the needle, Brendo. Let's talk about it. So they're planning a new lower-cost Model Y for China. It's set to be smaller, more affordable under a project led by an exclusively Chinese team. It's slated to begin production in 26 under the code name Redwood. We saw Juniper for the refreshed Model Y. The new vehicle will apparently be about 20% cheaper to produce than the current model. The goal is to remain obviously competitive in China, and their market share has been hit, Brendo. I mean, we've seen exactly what happened with their the BEV segment in China. Their market share is down from 11.7% down to 10.4%, so a bit of a tougher look there. And their strategic shift here is that they're trying to target what is their largest market outside the U.S. The Model Y is the best-selling car globally, so they're trying to use that and leverage it for better sales.
This on the back of Elon earlier this week saying they were going to double production in the U.S. as well by, what was it, 2026?
26.
A year from now? So more models coming for China as well. Will it hold? Joseph, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I was watching some things last night on Tesla and what we know going on with the EU and how sales are down and everything along those lines. But what I heard also is that these Chinese EVs are taking a storm in the EU as well. So becoming more popular. And I don't want to compare apples to oranges here, but what I'm hearing is that Tesla needs to come out with a new model, kind of like Apple and the iPhone. We want something new, and I think that's what we need here in Tesla to really get the ball rolling again. So something more exciting. I know we have some upgrades on the Model Y, I believe it is. So that's what they have in the pipeline in the Cybertruck, fairly new as well too, guys. But what Brando was mentioning is that a hefty haircut, down 55% here, from peak to trough in the past couple months, which isn't a good look. So can we get the ball rolling here again? And I'm hoping that we can. But again, the sales are down and just need something in the pipeline to really get people excited about Tesla stock again. We can go on about the CEO all day, but it comes with the territory. Sharif and I talk about this all the time, is that, okay, yeah, now he's 70% Doge and 30% CEO. So let's hope he can kind of get everything once he gets his obsession with Doge over and then really start to hyper-focus here on Tesla. Because a lot of people are shareholders, and I know shareholders aren't overly happy with Elon right now, but again, I mentioned it comes with the territory. You have to be patient with the name. But one thing I do want to mention, and this is just from a technical standpoint as well too, guys, is that the last time we made an all-time high was in November of 21. It then took us almost over 3 years to construct a new all-time high. You can see that Beta is involved with this name as well too. So hopefully we can get the ball rolling. Again, you're going to need something new, a new exciting vehicle in the pipeline here for Tesla. I don't know how you feel about that, Sean.
I feel great. I'm just writing today. Like, my daughter has baseball tonight, at 4 o'clock, but all of her stuff is in my car because and my car's here.
Oh.
And so it's like my
There you go.
wife's kind of pissed off because like we always talk about it, like we have to take, and it's both of our faults, you know, myself and my daughter's fault because like we were doing once a week on the weekend we have our workouts, so where I coach, you know, 10, 15 girls, and we do. And this weekend it's at 6 p.m. on Sunday night. I don't know how that happened because it's March break.
March break.
So try to do a little bit later on Sunday to see if people can come back in time school on Monday, right? So anyways, long story short, I have all the stuff. So I'm trying to, she goes to a private workout every Friday, and she works with another girl. So I'm asking that dad, does he have an extra glove and all this kind of stuff? Yeah. Daughter's pissed. You know what it's like when you don't.
Yeah.
Like, would you want to play hockey without your own stick?
No.
Like you don't mind borrowing somebody's, but
you don't, like you need your own gear,
right? And so it's like,
sure.
So she's like, I want my glove and all this stuff. So.
There you go.
Anyways, all right, so I wrote down Tesla here as the #1 trade idea on my sticky note here today. And the thing about it is I think it is due for a little bit of a pullback, right? I think that Tesla right there, it's been really juiced up here this morning. The market's coming back in. I'm looking for a 242 to 243 long on Tesla here. Dip buy into yesterday's highs in the afternoon. More production in China. We just talked about that. I think we get 250 easy today. And I don't think that's rocket science. I don't think we're making any like crazy calls right there. It was just 247. We have 20 minutes to go right now. So I was saying 242 to 243 at that point. It was where the 200 period was, but this is the level right here. This is yesterday's high. We couldn't break it. Now that we have broken it, we use past support or resistance, as today's support. So that right here, yesterday we go out, we close the day at 242. So as we all talk about it, I know Sharif talks about it, the closing price, obviously one that we're going to try to respect. So if there's by chance we drip in, which I don't think it has to drip. I mean, look at Tesla yesterday. You know, like this is straight off the open, man. You went from 250, where we're thinking about today, all the way to 235. Like we got crushed $15, you know, so to think that we can't go down $3 right now, I think is a little irresponsible. So we're going to wait for that 242. Yesterday, man, we got hit because we tried the exact same trade. We tried 242 to 243 yesterday, and then whoops, it went down. We lost ourselves a couple cups of coffee. Then we were able to make it back in the afternoon on that log. So let's wait to see what winds up happening with Tesla. Again, I like the stock here. We'll see if it can print. I like the long. It's going to be a 242 to 243. And quite frankly, I'm going to put the bid there well, you know what? I'll put it right there now, but I am a little bit worried because on a Friday, the imbalances will become a little more key. We should see some increased imbalances on the NASDAQ. So I don't want to get run over early, but you know what? To take one unit to sit here to see what happens, I think it's worth it. I'm going to put a bid at 243 for now. Look at 242. If we lose 242, 241, then we've got to get out, man, because you know, yesterday we were actually able to stay positive and actually wound up having a really good day yesterday. And the main reason for all of that, Joe, was just that we had some discipline and able to get out of our wrong longs. So let's do that today. We have the ability to get in and out of many trades, so we'll live to see another day. But Tesla for me is on my mind early. It's a long down there at 243 IMO, in my opinion.
Yeah, in your opinion, yeah, for sure.
Which could be wrong. All right, back over there. Palantir, hey, another stock we're familiar with.
4% or pushing 4% right now for PLTR. I mean, we've had, 2 new deals announced this week, one government, one on the private sector as well. Back to the upside we go here again this morning. Decent volume behind this in the last 10, 15 minutes here as well.
Yeah, and it's another commercial contract, Brendo, and you want to see that because 2/3 of their contracts are still government. So let's talk about this one. So they're partnering up with R1, which is apparently a leader in the revenue cycle management, RCM business. They're partnering up with Palantir to develop a new product called R37. It's going to be an AI-powered automation lab. What are they going to do? They're going to revolutionize, according to them, the healthcare financial performance by leveraging AI for faster and more precise reimbursement processes. I can speak to this personally. At our clinics, we have a billing manager who goes clinic by clinic and does the billing for doctors, and they make plenty of mistakes. So it'd be nice to see some AI involved in this. So over 40%, believe it or not, of hospital expenses are actually administrative costs, with $160 billion spent annually on this type of software, revenue cycle management. So R37, which is the product, aims to reduce cost and streamline complex payer-provider relationships through automation right now.
It seems like a daily occurrence. We're talking about some sort of new deal here for PLTR. We're back within the range from not only yesterday, but the past few days here, guys, for Palantir.
I mean, we know this is your number one stock here, Sean, and Alex Carbon Company doing quite well. The company's growing. The fundamentals seem to be pretty good here if I'm looking at my chart. So you get the double beats and continuing to grow. But again, a nice haircut in a lot of these tech names. And you know, Dan Ives from Wedbush says that this is one of the purest AI plays right here is Palantir. So down 33%. I think just how this stock from a technical standpoint has been in play for quite some time since November, December, and that's when it really started to grow, and it doubles essentially in the span of a couple months. I think we can get back into that type of momentum. Again, a couple new contracts here. It's more good news for Palantir. So yeah, I like this name for a continued bounce, and I'd most definitely like that the volume's starting to pick up as well too from a day-to-day standpoint. So yeah, I'm going to look for a bounce here in Palantir. Maybe not necessarily in the short term, but I do believe that we can get back up to this 1.25 within the next year or so here, Sean, on Palantir.
Yeah, I mean, I like the stock. We talked about all these deals that they're coming up with. At the end of the day, you know, it's the government, it's, you know, the strength of AI, the strength of big data coming through for Palantir. We heard about Alex Karp selling, you know, many shares and changing that sort of sale plan that he had for 2025 and just sort of ramping it up, and did get out of big time positions earlier on this year. And that kind of caused this. It didn't cause this move. It was causing some uncertainty into here. Then all of a sudden now we get sort of the tariff wars and the market. I mean, I don't think they're not a tariff name, but as the market loses a little bit of faith in itself, obviously a high-flying name like Palantir does come all the way back in. The good news about Palantir, of course, is unlike many stocks right now, we are just, I mean, here's January 1st, right into here. We're still above the year-to-date open, right? And so we are still green year-to-date on Palantir. We spent a little bit of time underneath, but right now, doesn't this look like a decent bottom down here, 78 or so? There's only 2 days that we spent underneath 78. So for me, if we're trying to play some dip buys, all of these wicks seem to be at the exact same levels, guys, 78 to 79. Like, I don't know. Like, they're all, like, we've been down here pretty much every day in the last week and a half. We have been down to 80, 79, 78, 80 bucks. So to think that it can happen today, I think that's pretty reasonable. So we'll wait. I think you want to buy this name on dips again. I like the stock. Anything that's up today, I think you want to buy the dip and then see what happens at 10 o'clock. Darren and I talked about this yesterday. We talked about it a little bit here today. That number that's coming at 10, I think will definitely impact for at least a couple minutes the momentum of this market. If it comes a little bit hotter is what we want. We want to have more consumer confidence, more sentiment there. Then I'm thinking we do get a rally and you're going to want to grab those longs. But for now, look at this market selling off, man. I mean, this is the risk of sitting there with bids. I don't think you're at risk if you're bidding right now 79 on Palantir or anything, but when these imbalances come out at 9.25, let's just see which side they're on. But I just think it's kind of a no-brainer trade to at least attempt something down here. This is the only time, and it was Monday, Tuesday, that we were actually under $78. So if we do come in on negativity in the market, I think it's a buy, and you just deal with the consequences after that, and you have your stops, right? If you break 75, then you definitely know that you're in the wrong spot. So I think it's a pretty well-defined trade there. I'm not adding to any of my longs, Joe. It's a good-sized position. I don't hold as many shares of Palantir as I do basically any of the Mag 7 names. You know, we were buying this thing sub $10. It's been a great run. It's been good. We've been selling a little bit, but not lately. So let's wait to see what happens here. I still like the stock. I think it's my pick for 2025, and it's been paying off pretty good so far as holding some of the base. So, you know, again, like the stock. I like Big Bear AI as well. This is a name that I'm sort of not buying anymore. I'm out about $1.50 on this stock, long near $5. But again, Man, these charts, dude. Takes a minute to load. But again, another name that just comes right back in. And if you're looking for January, you know, this is January 13th. So you're back into some of these year lows again for Big Bear AI. Not a great report. Let's see if this name can get going. But, you know, I like all of these names here. I like a lot of the AI plays. I don't think they're very terror specific, so we're going long on these names. All right, Joe, something that's been nice for all of us around here lately, it looks like crypto does hold that 80,000, and we're getting back to the upside here. Let's go find out the story with crypto.
Crypto back to the upside, right? I zoomed out here a little bit, so we're right back to the top end of the range on the week now, up 4% here this morning. Lots of opinions, not only on Bitcoin. I mean, shout out to our friend Peter Schiff talking about gold all week, rightfully so, back to all-time highs today, but warning on the Bitcoin side.
Yeah, Brenda, well, there's a positive headline, so let's talk about it today. So the Trump administration, through an individual by the name of Bo Hines, guys, the lead of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets, has expressed interest in increasing U.S. Bitcoin reserves as a part of the broader financial strategy. Apparently, the administration is reportedly considering using Federal Reserve funds from revalued gold certificates to establish a Bitcoin reserve, which we've been talking about for some time. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. In fact, this Bo Hines guy actually met with crypto industry figures and lawmakers, including Senator Cynthia Lummis, Big Bill Hagerty, and Bernie Moreno. The government already holds, Brendo, about $5 billion worth of Bitcoin from seizures and may be looking, believe it or not, to increase their reserves.
Back to the upside we go here today, guys. Again, does it hold?
I mean, we've been chopping around in this range on Bitcoin for quite some time, guys. And I mentioned before, I guess this stockpile is definitely good news. Just using seized Bitcoin and then trying to establish this reserve. But again, we've just been chopping around in this range of about 80,000 to 83,000 for the past couple of days. So a nice move to the top side here on Bitcoin would be good. I mean, we broke through this support level here, guys, with some nice momentum, and we recovered, and then we rejected it once again. So hopefully we can get back into that territory. I talk about consolidating for an 8-month span, and then we go on this nice run, but then we just head right back into the consolidation phase, and then it looks like we went to the top of the range, and now holding it half decently here now, guys. So a nice bounce in Bitcoin. I think it's a positive sign for this space. We didn't get that reaction with the summit, the crypto summit that we were looking for, and that's fine. But I think with this reserve, it's going to be a good long-term play here in Bitcoin.
So we talked about the crypto reserve, and again, my fear is that that's not a reserve in a couple of years, but that doesn't matter. We still have a long time to go. 4 years, like where Bitcoin's going to be in 2 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, it's not going to be around here. So let's just wait to see if Bitcoin can finally hold this bottom. And I mean, again, it's only the same kind of haircut that we're seeing in the S&P and in the NASDAQ as we go from highs. I mean, IBIT, again, you know, if we're going to trade something, there's people that trade BITX, BITO. There's various ARKB is ARK's product as well. But you go from a top of 61 down to 47. I mean, you're still down roughly that, you know, 18% or whatever it is from those highs. Very, very similar to what the market is down. Maybe a little bit more aggressive. But again, it kind of looks like that Palantir stock here.
30%. Yeah.
How much?
30%.
Is it 30? Is it down?
From the peak to the low.
110
there.
to 82?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's about right. Yeah, 30%. So a little more aggressive than the market. But again, you did get a little bit of a false bump up there right off of the election. It just really got going. But 30% Joe, good. Thanks for doing that. So a little more than the market. But I think we'd like it to do something, but at the end of the day, I feel pretty good right now. We talked about some of the base here. So for me, for IBIT, if we're going to go long today, I'm going to be looking at equity. But there's the 200 period right there, $46.85, $47, good drip down. If we were able to get long somewhere in there, I think that would be reasonable. It's also the 200 period on a 5-minute chart. So looks like we're trying to break through the weekly levels here. This could be a good run. What about a 48 long? Taking out the week high right there on IBIT and then gapping into 49, coming in next week on Monday at 51, 51.5 when the market's at 87. That's not horrible. This is actually a pretty good trade right here, 48 long on IBIT. So something to look at for sure as this market looks to rally today. 48 break long on the weekly. That's pretty good there for IBIT. So I think that's a trade that we might have just found.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Sean. Break through the volume-weighted average price here. You can see that the market's starting to pull back as well, too. the one thing that I know from my specific system is that we don't want to be too extended from the volume-weighted average price. So a nice pullback in here, and then maybe we get some liquidity grabs and the continuation of the trend. But I do believe that we can get the ball rolling. Again, I mentioned these consolidation phase. They have been more lengthy than what we've seen in history, especially with an 8-month one and then moving 33, 36%, whatever it may be. But then after that move, going right back into that consolidative state and then selling off a little bit more here in Bitcoin. But a nice recovery rally with that reserve. I think there is some tailwinds in the crypto space, and I think that's going to be positive for Bitcoin especially as well too, guys. Let's see what we're up to with on DocuSign.
Let's talk some Docu here, trying to get back to the upside as well. More than 10% so far this morning, coming off better than expected results. Kind of disappointing on the volume side right now, but we'll see what happens, I guess, at the open.
All right, let's talk about how they did, Brendan.
Yeah.
So good report. As you mentioned, revenue, $776 million, exceeding what the street was looking for. They were looking for about 761. EPS also handily beat, 86 pennies. The street was looking for 85. And the total revenue up nicely, 9% year over year, with subscription growth as well, growing 9% year over year. Let's talk about where and how they made money. Billings increased 11% year over year. Cash flow now sitting at about $308 million, with free operating cash flow, sitting at about $280 million. Stock buybacks, they continue to add shareholder value. By buying back stock, they bought back about $161 million there. Not too bad. Now, the way they're growing is they're looking at leveraging AI. Surprise, surprise. They have an AI-driven agreement management platform, which they believe is going to be their key growth driver. So we'll have to see what the next quarter does. Speaking of the next quarter, they're guiding nicely here, but a bit of a lower revenue guide, $745 million to $749 million. The street wanted $755. Q1 billings about going to be $741 to $751, and full year revenue for 2025 going to be about 3.13 to 3.14, which is lower than what the street wanted, 3.15.
Yeah, that was the only blip. JP Morgan with a straight up upgrade this morning. Rest of the analyst moves kind of neutral to a little bit bearish even, but JP Morgan with an upgrade, guys.
Yeah, I mean, with DocuSign, I think it's kind of in the realm. I don't want to compare the two, but you can see with DocuSign, it was definitely it benefited from the COVID phase, and we were talking about that this morning. So not letting a crisis go to waste here for sure, but then coming all the way back down. So we had a high of about $317. I don't know if there's been any splits in between here, but now we're trading around $81. So that's a hefty haircut there, guys. But I mean, DocuSign, it definitely did benefit from the pandemic, now coming in off those lows. I don't know if this is necessarily something that I would personally want to own or add to the portfolio, but here it is. We're trading higher up about 11% here on the day here. Sean.
Yeah, I've always liked DocuSign. I mean, I was in this name for a while there, and it's really done well. I like the technology there, being able to again work more from home, get things done remotely, get things signed up there. I like the fact that they're free cash flow positive and they're sitting on some cash. That's always a good thing as well. There were talks about a buyout on this name a while back, like mid last year, or even 2 years ago. And right now, I think it's good. It's nowhere near its 200 period moving average. If you're gonna look to hide out somewhere, it looks like DocuSign now gives you that stock, right? A little bit of an AI play, a little bit of a tech play, and does get you away from some of the depressed stocks that are down here at the 200 period moving average. So very similar to what you talked about with Visa. It's not as weak as many of the other plays. And DocuSign right now with 4 straight updates, that's going to be hard to find as well, up 10%. You might have missed the bottom, but that's completely fine. If you're going to play it really safe, you want to wait for it to break like 87 right there. But it's only done 200,000 shares, so it's not really on my radar right here today. But what is on the radar would be to look at these imbalances, and it looks like we're wrong. Not that we're wrong, but I was thinking that there was going to be a little bit more volume here. There's nothing. NVIDIA is 150,000 shares, but it's a sell side look. So this is starting to come down a little bit here. We still see Quantum, which is a good look here as well. Not doing too much in the pre-market, trying to hold out for some levels. We're going to talk about Pelaton in a minute. I don't see that on here as well. I don't really see in this first page any big names whatsoever that we've been looking at other than that NVIDIA sell side. So NVIDIA is pushing down on that. It's only 150,000, we've done already 8 million shares. So I'm going to sort of say a little bit of a nothing burger here on the imbalances. Throw it back to the guys to get a quick little talk here on Peloton.
This conversation real quick. GV, Canadian company, up big here, just popped on $1 billion in financing coming through for Visionary Holdings. Canada. You want to talk about Peloton here?
I'm kind of excited about that small cap gap.
Yeah, there we go.
Brendo. All right, guys. Peloton quickly here, upgraded by Canaccord Genuity from hold to buy, maintaining that $10 price target. They're projecting a good turnaround in fiscal 2026 as management rolls out new revenue initiatives, so they say, and they're expecting subscription growth, guys, to rise in fiscal 2027. Let's see how it all works out.
30 seconds or so to go here, guys, for a Friday morning.
Look, I mean, I think Peloton right now is trying to gap up, which is really nice. It's made that bottom right here. This just reminds me of risk management. If you're going to go long right now, even in your long-term account, you do have 550 as a possible bottom. So we'll watch out for that. Joe, anything quickly on Peloton?
I mentioned before I was comparing it to DocuSign here, but a tough look after the pandemic. Let's see if they can get the things going again. I like what Brando's point as well too is just getting things going in the hotels. He's seen multiple with it, so
here we go.
That'd be a good idea. Here we go.
2, 1. Thank you, Adara. And there we go. Let's ring that bell and get ready to rock and roll. We'll wait to see if NVIDIA comes in just a little bit. We'll buy some 118 dips here if it does come in. We are expecting a little bit of movement here off the jump. We had wrote down TQQ as well, that we like this name down here at 59. So at the 200 period moving average, sort of where we were yesterday, the market, if we can come back into yesterday's afternoon high, similar to Tesla, similar to NVIDIA, I like the long there in the TQ. So we're going to put a bid down there at 59.25. We did also just bid NVIDIA. Looks like we are going, I'm at 118.15. So there we go. I guess we just got it there. So now we are long in NVIDIA as we just do get that fill down here near 118. Again, it's on the sticky note. We like the long here into 117. If we break 117, then oh boy, we will get out of that one. But look at this, man. We just sit there. And what did we say to you? What did I say to you in the pre-market there? You got to sit at your levels. There it is. NVIDIA already, man, a 50-cent banger. We'll see what we can do here with NVDA.
Nice look there, Sean. I'm waiting for IBIT to pull in here, guys. Nice, strong opening drive. The first minute, really, really strong, breaking through these pre-market highs. So a good look there. I'm also looking at TSLL, waiting for these pullbacks, but the tape is really strong here, guys. We can see that we're continuously flushing above the ask, and that's a positive signal for strength. Let's see if we can get somewhat of a pullback. This is what I want to see here, but we're not very reactive when we hit at and below the bid. So going to keep that in mind. I still like Tesla. Tesla's starting to move higher and higher. Now up about 3.5 here, guys. So a good look there on Tesla and some of these big names. Sean, I know you're in NVDA. You have 2.7% here, now trading around 1870. So good look there on that one. And the TQ is also climbing higher, guys. Going to be patient, wait for this pullback. We're still holding this trend line relatively strong. So I'm going to wait for that hold and then get in these longs, guys.
Yeah, man. So far, so good here. Almost. Well, you know, we're getting close. We're getting close to that dollar club right here. Here it goes. It's through 119, and that's what we're talking about. Right now, it's a face slapper to start the day. We wrote it down here. We like NVIDIA at 118, so why not? That's BBAI. Like, why doesn't my symbols change? BBAI, we're looking for 350 break, but there goes NVIDIA. There's the long, and there's the oh boy. So we're starting it off already there today. I'm actually going to clean up this wick just in front of you guys, so we could just do that real quickly here. I've upgraded to the new version, but it seems I've still had some of these. All right, so there goes NVIDIA right now. It's rocking, dude. Nice move to the upside, $1.30 in the money off of our 1-for-1 banger so far there today. Let's just see if it continues. I mean, we don't know where this is going to go, but we are excited for it right now. It is NVIDIA, dude. It's going 120 on watch for NVDA. So I'm going to put another offer. Let's put one at 119.75. If we can get that, great. We'll continue to watch it. Another name that we looked at was Tesla. I apologize. I can't see if you're in a position right now because our board has that. Our daily watch, your daily watches, make sure you do sign up for that immediately. Okay, so we said Tesla probably gets to 250. It went to 249.60. bang on that one. Hopefully some of you were able to get out if you were long into that area, and now you can reload and regroup a little bit. We're still trying to bid down here at the 200 period moving average. But oh boy, man, NVIDIA is really the stock for me here today as we just continue to go on this. This is a huge move up there for NVDA, now $1.50 in the money, and doesn't look like it wants to slow down at all here, Joseph. So nice move higher. We're at 77.
Oh.
Look at that, guys. Man, this is a good morning here. Bang on that one, guys. Good trading. Let's go. You're long on IBIT. You know we like that trade as well.
That trade,
hope you're doing well there, Fabian, and hope everyone's doing well with us right there. But this is the trade. It's on, and it's on like Donkey Kong because we had put this on our sticky note. What did I say to you? I said, get levels, get shares, let's get going. So here we go. It's NVIDIA, and so far so good on that one, man. $1.50 on NVIDIA, and all the talk is right. Let it fall down. It does that. We still have about like 65%. Let's get out of another piece right here at 66. Getting a little lighter now as NVIDIA really making the morning shine so far. QBTS, and I'll throw back over to you. I just want to have a quick little look here. Wow, this name continues to go as well as Quantum is hot, man. The block is hot, and it's all about Quantum name today as Rigetti, QBTS. Some of these names continue to go higher. Not Oklo. Oklo's nuclear, right? It was the other name. What's the other Quantum name? Oh, not NNE.
There's
Rigetti, there's QBTS, there's QTUM, IonQ. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Duh. That's what we were looking for there today because we knew this name's been running here today as well, up 10%. So good look there for Odyssey Flights and everybody there in the chat. Big Bear AI, we're waiting for 350. As soon as 350 breaks, your boy's getting long on Big Bear AI as well. Fannie Mae. I'm not in this name. I tried to punch it long. I saw it going early. Dara brought us a story yesterday on Fannie and Freddie. So this name really starting to go here, Fannie Mae.
Yeah, DocuSign really trading higher here. Sean, up 14% on the session here. A really nice setup. Wish I had my hyper focus on that one, but you can see that we hopped in some IBIT, guys. We got stopped out break even, that's okay, but a nice break of this pre-market high. Add into the position on the strength within the tape, and you can see that volume really start to step in, and then we started to take some out. Unfortunately, we did get that break even stop out, but that's okay. We're gonna go a little bit heavier on the next position. We're gonna wait for Tesla as well too to come in. We are hovering around these pre-market highs here too, guys. So looking good for TSLA. And some of these other big names, the Q's really ripping here, Sean.
Oh yeah,
you got a face slapper there in NVDA, trading as high as we're almost at that 120, guys. I told you about that open interest at 120. It's coming into play here, so looking really, really good in some of these tech names here. So we're going to be patient, wait for these pullbacks. Tesla not really following the market. Hopefully, it's just lagging here, and then it will start to pick up some steam and catch up with all its peers.
Yeah, so far so good here on the day as NVIDIA just touches 120 and we get out at 119.97 right there at $1.77 in the monies right now. So far so good on all of these plays. Let's not get too carried away. I mean, it's been a huge move up here today. We were only bullish. We don't have any shorts written down here at all. We want to look at maybe even a 120 break might be the play as well. We want to look at FXI for a dip buy opportunity into 37. Come on, charts. Honestly, I need to speak to somebody about this. 37.25. Hopefully, we can come back into that area as well. That's what we're looking to dip by. Maybe it's the 200 period at some point. Okay, now we are $2 in the money as we've just taken out $20 right now and getting a little bit higher. Whoopsies. No, cancel. Oh my God, I almost got out of everything. We don't want to get out of everything, my guy. There's another out for us right there as we continue to blast a little bit northbound there.
Did you get out of everything there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I did.
Yeah, you did. That's what I'm saying.
Serenity now. All right, let's buy a little bit more then. All right, so we did get out of everything there. So, okay, whatever, man. We ring the register. We'll just get back in a little bit there. I don't want to get back into everything. We never want to punch long on everything, but I just feel like I'm fumbling out just a little bit here as we're getting a little bit excited. Let's just get back in. Let's try to sort of scalp this out, stick on that same sort of theory. You know what? My number lock is off. Oh, my God.
Oh, my.
That's why. So everything that I was putting out was my default.
Oh.
So that's why when I only had a certain piece left, I was trying to, see, I just got out again.
There you go. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Okay, that's fine. Now we've got it fixed out. So there we go. So that's keystroke error 101, man. My number lock key was turned off. So when I was just pushing bid enter, I was adjusting the share size, but it wasn't adjusting anything. It was just throwing it back out there. So again, this is part of the problem. You know, it's my problem, not yours, but there it goes to the upside. We should still be long on NVIDIA, but at the end of the day, man, we're making it sing here. We'll get back in. We still do like the long, but we don't want to lose it all here by making these keystrokes. So we'll try a little bit. See, here comes the pullback. So we do expect some kind of a pullback here on the day. Stocks just aren't going to go northbound all day. Especially with some of this talk, we wait for 10 o'clock where we get keep saying CPI, Michigan sentiment there, which will be a read on the consumer. So we'll see what that's going there. But there we go, man. So far, so good here. We'll wait. The market could easily drip down off of this level, though.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you here.
19.6 on the S&P, on the NASDAQ.
Okay, so 19.6, there you go. So we are climbing higher. The TQs look really good here today, guys.
Sucks.
Gonna wait for this. I honestly didn't want to get in quite here, so I got right out of it, holding this base. So I'm gonna look for another test of this. But again, we are slightly extended from the volume weighted average price, so a better, some better location here, I think can come into play on Tesla. Gonna be patient on this one. It is lagging the rest of the market, so we got to be wary. Is that relative strength in this name? It looks like DocuSign was one of the better plays here on the session, especially with like NVDA. You know, Sean's in that one as well, and the TQQs are trading significantly higher and higher here, up about 2% or 1.7%. The Qs are up, guys. So we're gonna wait for this hold of the volume weighted average price right around 9, and then we're gonna get involved here on some Tesla, Sean. So yeah, DocuSign continuing to climb higher. That was a really nice look. I'll pull it up on my chart here. And it's unfortunate, so you can see that we consolidate right around the volume weighted average price, a nice pre-market hold. We pull back through, and then that's when you get that move to the top side. So that's one that we should have had I should have had a hyper focus on. That's okay. If we get any form of pullback, hold 84, and then maybe we'll look for a continuation of the trend here, Sean.
All right, good little look there. Because we got a little bit, I mean, nervous is not the right word. We're not too nervous, but we did get out of some of our shares here for sure on NVIDIA, because we did punch the high there, getting a little frustrated that potentially we talked about it made that keystroke error. We never like to do that. That is for sure, and we did it. So yeah, we got to make sure that we are out of that trade right now. We're still in it, but I didn't want to put on too much risk. I'm waiting for pullbacks. I just wrote down 1950 right there as a potential in. So if it does pull back into 1950, that's where we want to grab this long. Really good trade off the jump right there. And then we fumbled with our keys, and that's unfortunate, because I was like, what's going on here? And then, you know, good thing we caught it, which was good, because I didn't want to punch the full default northbound. We don't ever want to take too many trades this high, right? Like once the market goes, we've seen it have huge moves in the past. So the thing is that let it settle down a little bit, right? We saw Tesla yesterday drop $15 off the open. We know that that can happen again to any of these names. So I think patience is going to be a key thing there. We just hit the bang. What's going on? You got out of something?
Well, I hit the bang for you because you said patience is going to be a key thing there.
Yeah, I think so. Let's have a look quickly. We did look at Palantir again. Wow. Okay. Wow. See, like, this is the thing. What goes up like an elevator can also come down like that. And right now, it's really nicely done to the upside right here. That looks like a nice consolidation level. If we can break a little bit higher through this 85.75, that's going to be a good look there for Palantir. But like we said, it's dangerous in these markets to like hit the breakout trades, especially when we are waiting for economic news to hit, right? And so I think a good example of that is NVIDIA. Like if you punch long 120 being a key level for sure, we like 120, you only got about 30 cents on that fill. So like that was the problem. But look at the dip buy. Like we're probably one of the only ones that maybe have this fill, because we were just lucky enough to sit there 118.15. The low of the day here on NVIDIA is 118. Like we might have that exact low there, and it's just being patient and waiting for it. So I do appreciate you hitting that button there. But right now, NVIDIA is coming back in. We're only long here at 119.90, not a great level, but we are going to try to support VWAP and the 50-period moving average as well. So let's see if NVIDIA can get back there northbound on the trade. So I see you're still looking for something?
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for Tesla here to slowly turn around. We are at the pre-market lows here, Sean. So I'm seeing if we were going to turn around in this name. but it doesn't look like it wants to just yet. That momentum is really starting to pick up to the downside, and as well as IBIT. But one thing you want to look for is what is holding up strong. We got DocuSign holding up relatively strong, and NVDA is still hovering around the volume-weighted average price. So that can show some that can display some strength as well, too, guys. So keep that in mind. I like that we might have put in a possible base here on Tesla. So that $8.90 target is going to be the pre-market low in this name. So I think I'm going to start a little starter position here, Sean, just because if we do decide that we're going to continue to move higher and higher, I do like this base. I like that support level. Hopefully it comes into play, 890. If we break through and then you see that volume really start to step up, then we'll just get out of the trade. But you can see from a risk to reward standpoint, this is what we want to aim for, right? You can see we have definitive support. If we crack through and you see that momentum on the time of sales really start to pick up, then that's going to give us an out as well. So TQ is looking like they want to take a second leg higher. So that's going to be a good look. Holding relatively strong. If NVDA wants to participate, then it's definitely going to drag the market up with it as well. Let's see what some of the other big names are up to, like Apple. Are we climbing higher in Apple? Yeah, so Apple's still holding strong here, Sean. Sitting around 213, which is positive sign. Let's see what Microsoft and Google are up to as well. Just in case they are weak or strong, we want to be able to identify, especially if you're trading the NASDAQ. You want to see what these big names are up to. And Microsoft, not too much, but it looks like Tesla wants to continue to move to the south side here, Sean.
Tesla south side.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was looking at 243, 242. Are we anywhere near there? I know you're on TSLA.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not quite there yet. I like your long because you're right at the 200 period moving average. So I like that price. We'll see what winds up happening. That's 245. I've hitched my wagon to NVIDIA, which is now back to flat. So buying in there, not too bad. Oh, yeah, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for that little note there. JP Morgan up 2.5% today. You guys know this is the only name that I bought. I bought indexes and I bought JP Morgan because, again, I'm well under capitalized or under positioned in the bank names. So I do like Goldman Sachs. You know, this is, here's a stat for you guys, Sharif, Brendan, and everybody else. This is the lowest period of deals in the first 2 months since 2005. So we're down like 18, going back almost 20 years. I was going to say exactly 20 years. What am I talking about? It's 2025 right now, right? So the last 20 years, this is the lowest amount of deals in the first quarter so far. And again, a lot of that obviously has to do with right now what's been happening in the market. But with this new administration, we did think that there was going to be some more mergers and acquisitions. But we'll wait to see if that does happen. We had Walgreens Boots Alliance. Other than that, really nothing else huge, I don't think, on the buyout side. I know Neil likes to trade some of those names, so when he comes back, maybe we can get a little bit more details on those. But Goldman Sachs right now also been beat up, so has Morgan Stanley on all of that news as well. I picked JP Morgan, and that's what we wanted to do. Well, this quantum name, man, D-Wave is like waving bye to the shorts because here goes $9 right now. So congratulations to everybody else. This is Max's Lambo, but if you're long on QBTS in the last couple of days, you're like, what tariffs, what recession, what Trump, what NASDAQ, what are we even talking about right now? So someone tweeted at me, can QBTS get to all-time highs? I said no, because again, we were at 750. Now you're at $9, and I'm just talking about today. It looks like we're easily in that area now, up to $9.50, $10. Congratulations on quantum name here. QBTS continues to work. Like, look at this name ripping up. NVIDIA goes back to flat for us, man, and then falls. We could have exited out of this at 120. We did not do that. We're trying to support this long. We only have 13 minutes now until imbalances, until that Michigan number comes through. So I'm going to buy. Look, my plan of action, I'm not doing anything until we break 118 on NVIDIA. So if you guys are riding with me, share size appropriately, because 118 is already a $2 hit. Like, we're long at 120 right now. We shouldn't be. I'm okay being long at 120. I want to get more shares down here, right here, and then I want to watch out for this 118.50. That's going to be the spot where I reload it in. I'm not even going to wait for this 200 period. If we come screaming back into here, we're out at 118, and it's going to be a hit. So get ready, get buckled up for that one. We've been having a great week, willing to let this ride. Let's see if our long is right. The only problem is I want this thing above 120, and I want to get something out in and around this area. I'm waiting at 120.20 right now to get out of 15%, because because if we continue to make this move higher, I want to get a little out ahead of this number. I am very concerned about it. I don't know. That's my take. I think there's going to be a big move at 10 o'clock. So Adara, here comes NVIDIA right now, back to flat. Adara, what's up?
Keep an eye here on AKBA. This is a small cap name. Day 2 earnings play. They also had a price target maintained by H.C. Wainwright this morning. RBRK is also on watch here. Rubrik is a day 1 earnings play. They reported last night after the close. So keep an eye on this one. Definitely rejecting this area just below $70 right now, but not a bad look this morning for RBRK. And yeah, 10 a.m., just to be aware, we will be getting that University of Michigan consumer sentiment data. Key among this data, though, is going to be the inflation aspect. There's a 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations print, and that has seemed to be moving the market more as of late. So I'll be giving you those numbers right at 10 a.m. Back to you.
I'm not convinced this number is going to be great, and I don't think this is why we're not really sitting in too many shares right now of this stock. We are in it. We're in about 2 or 3 units worth of our position, right? Like, so we can add a lot more to this. I just think on a bad number, we could easily flush into here, which is why I'm sitting at 19 even to get a little bit at the 50-period moving average, and then again at 1850, where we were lucky enough to get that fill, but I think that could be the bottom. So again, if you're nervous and if you're rocking with me, get out now for flat. I'm long at 119.90s. So that's right where it is right now. You can get out. I'm going to try to sit there and believe in this name. And again, it's just that, what if the number comes out better than expected? Then it's an oh boy moment there, my guy. So we'll wait to see if that can happen. Shout out to Obi, who I think is probably on his way back already. So shout out to Obi there. All right, so Mara, we like this name at 14s to see if it was going to hold that 12. Well, it just came right into $12 again. How good does this bottom look right here? Unfortunately, it wasn't on radar today. We did talk about crypto. We should have looked at Mara. Mara came right into $12. It didn't come in there today, but off the 200-period moving average, I like this long, man. Mara up 5% against that $12 bottom. Good look over there. Did QBTS fade off of 9 or what? No, so still here right now. What about a 9 break on this name? We're still waiting. Okay, all right, come to the damn party. Let's go. Come on, NVIDIA. We're waiting at 120.20, my guy. You know what? I'm going to get out of one piece right here. This is why I shouldn't look at this stuff, because the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I'm going to take a piece out. And then I look back and say, what have I done right now? But okay, here we go. Nice little, here we go, Sharif. Nice little, have they signed anybody this offseason? They signed a new guy, yes. Okay, and I know they're, Rico, oh no, they lost Rico Dowdle, they're running back. Okay, I know they're looking to re-up Micah Parsons, which I think would be a great idea too. One of the best defensive players in the damn league. There we go, man, it's a face slapper, man, there it is. Boom, for Trader TV Live. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Oh boy, we are right now at 1-time daily goal, and that's fine for us, but it doesn't matter. We want more. We want 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. Let's get going right now, man. We're not stopping. Do we ever stop around here? Answer to that is hell no. We don't stop, man. We don't stop bringing the energy. There it is, NVIDIA. Oh boy, for all of you guys in the chat that were like, man, this is going to be bad. We don't like this position. That's fine. Hey, look, man, to each their own. Hopefully you guys print it on the shorts, but your boy right now is, guess what? $1. Holla at $1. Right there. Let's go.
You know who needs that energy though, Sean?
Who's that?
The Leafs.
Please. I watched that whole damn game, man. We were really excited. Do you see Domi in the first period? Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
Filled that dude.
He's a guy.
But at the end of the day, losing.
I don't think they have a chance in winning that division, to be honest with you. I mean, we're not winning the division, but getting out of the second round, because they do have to go through.
They didn't even have Marchand. They didn't even have Ekblad.
No, but there's zero chance.
I know.
No.
It's greater than zero. Come on, my guy.
I know. There's no chance. The best case scenario is that Bobrovsky gets hurt, and then that's it. That's the only. I don't even know if the truck's coming back.
That's what I'm saying. We couldn't even beat them, and they're missing like their 3 best players. Well, big 3. Sam Bennett is nice.
Is Marchand hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
Chuck's not back. No, they traded for him hurt.
Oh, did they? Okay, kind of like our one play there.
He was a known asset hurt, but Tkachuk is gone for Ekblad suspended. Well, we'll talk about hockey in a minute, but hey, we're from
Canada here.
From somewhere here.
So, but yeah,
for everyone American north of the border.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go.
Where all the fentanyl's just coming.
So that's where it's all coming from, the Maple Leafs dressing room apparently. But here we go, guys. We're in some IBIT. It's working, climbing higher. We are rejecting the high a day, but Tesla TSLA taking multiple stabs at this name, not working out, doesn't want to participate with the market, so gonna avoid it continuing to move lower and lower. Still positive on the day, up about 1.3%, but not a good look here on Tesla. So see you later. 0 for 3 on that one, and we're gonna go 2 for 2 here on IBIT. So I want to stick with these strong names. That's gonna be the TQs, DocuSign, NVDA. See you later, Tesla. It doesn't want to turn around just yet. So Elon and company taking that rocket ship downwards. It doesn't look like it wants to work out here, so we're not going to be mooning anytime soon in Tesla. So sorry, SpaceX and company, but not a good look. We want to stick to these strong names. Let's see if we hold up this level right here at 47.50, and then we can possibly add to this position. Hopefully this doesn't come into a double top type territory, which is looking like it might right now. But one thing to positively note is that volume on the lower time frames is dwindling as we pull back, and that's what we want to see. So we want to see that lower volume on the pullback, and then the volume step in as we start to appreciate it. And the time of sale seems relatively strong here, Sean. So maybe we'll add to this position.
Yeah, what's up, Farm Trader? Farm Trader is huge today, 3 for 3 on the longs. And he said the longs are ripping today. And I mean, that's exactly Farm Trader and everybody else. That's exactly what we talked about all day here on our note here. Tesla long, we'll talk about that. It's not at the levels yet. 242, 243. TQQ long, FXI long, NVIDIA long, BBAI long. So we talked about this at 8:30 that we liked all of the longs and we want all of that smoke. So just keep it coming, guys. All right, so right there, look, this is what I'm talking about. Both Bears and Bulls. We always, I should have worn my shirt. Who will win? Remember I had that Bears versus Bulls? What shirt did you have that night?
The Bitcoin one.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Bitcoin to the moon, which we're doing right now.
Yeah, are we mooning? Okay, but at the end of the day, I hope we do. When moon, right? That's what everybody asks. But right now, I think the short and the long, which is why we hit the bull and the bear right there, both have won on NVIDIA today. If you've just been patient enough to grab the longs, you've won. If you've been patient enough to grab the shorts up here, you've won as well. It gave you a short call up here at 120.40. It just gave it again. It's giving it right now. So yeah, man, I'm just going to say congratulations, props up if you're just on NVIDIA today. And if you've been trading it, I feel, there we go. We're getting another piece out right here at 120.10s. I feel pretty comfortable with it right now, but we are getting lighter. I have half of the position we had when we were first pumping this, right? And so we'll wait for it, and we'll just hold on to this. We're 50 cents in the money. We did get out of all the other all the other stock up there. So let's wait 4 minutes until consumer Michigan sentiment again coming through. We talked about this on Palantir, what a short that was. And I just didn't want to take it, but that was a good one. Anybody had that, man? 85.50 again. It's the barcode, then you just take a shot. If you like the short, it gave you the top. You could have shorted this with 30 cents worth of risk, and right now you just printed $1. So I think that's the kind of trade that we're looking out for. For me, for Tesla, my guy, I haven't been looking at it. I've been listening to what you've been saying. I canceled my 243 bid. It went to filled, but it did come pretty close. We had written down 242 to 243. So the fact that Tesla's making this move down, let's see if we do get a negative number here, and maybe we will get that long at 242. So I'm bidding Tesla 242.25. Like I said, man, when you're using a bit more shares, you got to be a little bit more specific. Let's wait for the price. That's my lesson that we learned, and you and I had talked about that. Yep. If you're going to wait and you're going to try to actually make money, then you want to make sure that you have a great price where you can support the shares, because both Joseph and myself are trading here on a prop floor. Sharif, any of us that you see here, we have stop limits and risk limits that we need to adhere to. It's not, we just can't deposit $5 more grand and say, all right, we're rolling. You know, if my shutdown is $500 and I lose $500, that's it for the day. So, you know, we all have our own shutdown limits and levels, and we're trading within those risk parameters. So that's why we have to be specific with some of the stocks that we're looking at, and we can't just throw it caution to all of them. Yep. We need to look at what we're doing. So there we go again, man. Congratulations one more time as NVIDIA fails the longs. And and I'm long, but I'm congratulating those that we talked about looking short, right? AMD still underneath 100, I believe. No, actually, what am I talking about? I didn't even look at this today. AMD makes that move. Look at this. Same kind of thing. this light actually looks stronger than NVIDIA right now, even though percentage-wise maybe not, but up over $100.80, that top. Look at how good that's looked if you're a shorter, right? I mean, there's the top right there. There's the fall back in. So the short looking good. We're back to flat here on, we have a little bit less than half, but roughly a half a position left here in NVIDIA with only 2 minutes left. Good morning to everybody, man. Risk management is very, very key. That is for sure, people in the chat. Look at this, man. QBTS breaks 9, but fades back out. Now you're waiting for 9-10 to break, up 30%. This D-wave on earnings, like, wow, really getting going. The spaghetti one here, let's see what that's doing, $10 with a lot more size on these levels. So
nice run there.
Yeah, nice little run for all of them, man. Nice little run. I think you want to wait for pullbacks into VWAP for all of these names. TQ's coming back in as well.
Yeah, for sure, Sean. We're waiting for this pullback, and hopefully we can hold.
950.
I know a lot of people in the chat were mentioning, hey, Joe, is that a double top there? And yes, you guys are right. We have a possible double top. That's why you take it off at those highs, especially when it looks like it's going to reject it. So hopefully we can hold this position to that break even and then maybe even add more to this position because we don't want to get out of it just yet. So unfortunately, we still have the majority of it on. We only took about 10, 20% off there, guys. So looking for this climb higher. The market is pulling back as well, too. Double top on NVDA, so it's not looking too clean for those longs. Hopefully that print coming in at 10 a.m. We got about a minute left or a minute and a half or so before it comes out. So we have to be patient, position yourself correctly, and make sure you have those stops implemented as well, just in case you're on the wrong side of the trade there, guys. So we're going to continue to hold. If we hold 47.45 on IBIT, I'm going to add to the position and look for that break of the high a day. So a nice positive sign with the market being strong. NVDA is still up about 3%, 3.5%. So that's a positive sign. And yeah, I'm going to be patient here. We're in this trade. We're not going to jump on anything just yet. We like this pullback and where we're sitting in that specific area. But again, not looking too good right now, especially with that monster run.
Let's go to Adair now because the number is going to be coming through. So
sounds good. Let's go to Adair now with those numbers, guys.
We're just waiting here 13 seconds till we get this number. University of Michigan consumer sentiment, we're expecting 63 versus 64.7 previous. 5-year inflation, 3.4% versus 3.5 previous. And we're expecting flat here for 1-year inflation, 4.3% versus 4.3% previous. Lower, these numbers are definitely of note here. Lower than expected University of Michigan consumer sentiment, 57.9, well below estimates of 63. University of Michigan 5-year inflation print, 3.9% versus 3.4% expected. University of Michigan 1-year inflation, 4.9% versus 4.3% expected. So basically, people are seeing lots of inflation in both the near and farther terms here. This is the NASDAQ bouncing a little bit off lows, but certainly taking a tumble on that weaker than expected number. So just to recap, what you generally want to see is a sign of a stronger consumer sentiment and lower inflation expectations. We got the opposite of that. Here is TSLA. That's actually Ulta Beauty here. Ulta Beauty on watch with earnings, but TSLA also on watch here. Reuters reporting they're working on a less expensive Model Y over in Shanghai. Here's DocuSign, another earnings day one name. They beat on EPS and sales, but their revenue guidance was lackluster for both fiscal 2025 and Q1 2025. So again, just to recap, these numbers here were the opposite of what the market was looking for, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, just a little oppo right there. So, I mean, that's why we talk about it, right? I mean, that's why we got to go over to those numbers. Thanks to Dara for all of that. Yeah, a little bit of a red number there. It just gave us an opportunity to get the TQQs. So right now, bang. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? Now 40 handles in the money on that trade on the TQQs. So futures starting to pay dividends a little bit for us right there as we fall right back into that level, man. I mean, I just feel bad that we didn't get longer. That's all. So there it goes. Nicely done to the upside right there. The only problem that I have right now, well, first of all, NVIDIA, we're averaging into that. You can see my prices. We'll stay long. All we did was fall back into VWAP. I'm not too panicked about that. Tesla falls right into our 42.25. That's the level we said we're sitting at. I did just put another bid at 40.50s. I want to hold this until 240 breaks. So let's see. I know Tesla's not strong. It's a 1-unit trade. I don't necessarily believe in this name. This has been really coming in here today. We saw this name yesterday. We tried to catch the bottom. We did not. We got out immediately. I think this is well worth it, man. We're here to trade and to look to make some money. So if Tesla goes down $2, I'll tap out, but I'm definitely not tapping out of this name being down 50 cents on it right now. So let's let it breathe a little bit. It's a huge move. We just went down $3 in 7 minutes there on Tesla. So it does have the ability to retrace itself back to the upside, especially if this market gets going. As you mentioned, we're still green on the day net-wise. We haven't done anything really. NVIDIA, nice little drip buy. We were buying 1925s. You heard me say that. My next bid's at 19 evens. And then we were letting this thing go into what was going to be the 200-period moving average of 1850. So here we go, man. All of the trades that we have are now in the money. Look at this trade on TQQ. We knew this was going to come through. It's that Michigan sentiment number 57.9 versus 63. That's horrible. But what if it catches a bid? Like this market now is not getting hit down as much as we thought it would. Nice little rally back. We are now 40 handles, in the money. So let's take some more out. The TQs is making them sing right now. Whoa, right there. So here we go, man. Right back to where we're supposed to be. It's a good one. Happy Pi Day to everybody. 314.
Ooh.
You a math guy?
I wouldn't say that.
So when I say Happy Pi Day to you, you just think of blueberry, pecan?
No, I think it was obviously, what is it, 3.14, blah, 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 blah. So Happy Pi Day.
Yeah, Happy Pi Day to you too, my guy.
There you go.
What, are you a fan of a pie?
No, you know what's funny? I've never had pie in my life. Never. Yeah. I get ram upset when I tell you. I've never had pumpkin pie. I've never had apple, blueberry, whatever, peach. I've never had any of that stuff.
But how is that even possible?
I've just never had it.
Isn't it like...
And cake, I've only probably eaten cake once or twice in my life, I think. I just never liked that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge dessert guy either, but never had pie.
Yeah, I've never had pie.
And you've had cake a handful of times.
Not even a handful, like once.
You are one in a million, my friend. So I am very, very happy to have met you.
Because I don't like chocolate in...
No, it's not that. I don't think there's anybody else in the chat that's never had pie.
Yeah, no, it's just not me. I'm not like, okay, so when I was younger, I couldn't really eat like chocolates or anything like that. It always upset my stomach, so I never really got into that sweet game. So when I was in my mid-20s, when I first started eating like gummy bears, gummy worms, religiously, and then I'll eat chocolate once in a while now. But yeah, I never was a pie guy.
Nothing wrong with that. I just can't believe you've never had a piece of pie.
Yeah, I've never, no.
So that's what I'm saying. So I am just so happy to have met you because I will never, ever meet an individual in my life that is over the age of 30.
Yeah.
No, but I get it. You don't have to have a sweet tooth. I mean, I
have a sweet tooth. I like gummy worms from Bulk Barn.
Yeah, okay.
And I like toffee.
I
like toffee. Toffee is good, right? A nice crunchy bar.
I am down. I mean,
But yeah, just never was a pie guy. Ramin's mad at me because I said the chocolate. I'm not a pie, but if me not having pie, that would make me not a pie.
You're really upsetting people around.
I know.
With that hot take, it's not even a take. You're just saying that you've never had pie before, which I just can't believe. But I would never question your integrity. So
Thank you.
There we go. All right, Tesla right now. Guess what?
Thanks.
Club. There's Tesla. There's our levels. Like I don't look, man. Follow or not, it's on Instagram, it's on here. The number one trade idea for the day is Tesla, 242 to 243 long. So right now we're $1.30 in the money on this exact trade. TQs, long 59, that's now 75 handles in the money. NVIDIA long 118. That is now $2 in the money. Like we have 3 trades on board today, and look exactly what's happening right now. This is a monster day. We're having our best day of the week. I want to thank everybody for joining. I know I say that, but like honestly, if we could show P&Ls, you would see it. And it's just a matter of this is what we're doing. We're putting these trades on. We're believing it. We have that confidence. We're putting the trades on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Boom. Joe, tell me you've had a glizzy before.
Of course, I killed glizzies.
Okay. Ooh, I never know what you're going to say. So, okay, here we go. We are now 100 handles right now in the money on the futures, my guy, on this kind of a play. Like, what exactly are we doing here today? Boom, boom, and boom, man. Pie for everybody today because this has been a monster sort of a day. We're really, really happy for that. So, congratulations, anybody that's had the short, the long, and all of that as we go. So, let's settle down. Let's see what winds up happening. It's been a good recovery off that number, man. Exactly what we thought would happen. It fell right into our lap. We hit the long, and boom goes the dynamite. As they say in NBA Jam, boom, shakalaka, laka, 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 laka.
Do they say that in NBA? Oh, in NBA, the video game NBA Jam. Okay.
Don't worry about my guy.
All right, my guy.
We've already got Uber coming here with the best pie you've ever had in your life. So you're gonna. That all changes today. No, we don't have Uber coming, but yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in some NVDA with you here as well too. It's looking pretty good here, guys. So hopefully we can, or not hopefully, let's see if we can crack through this 120.40 and the high a day, and I think we can continue to climb higher. Nice recovery off of that print here not too long ago. We can see that we have an indecision print on the TQs as well, so nice positive sign on that front. Pulling back now, we are constructing lower highs, which isn't the best signal, but hopefully we can break through. The volumes start to pick up. And pull back here, we want to see that dwindling volume pushing through. What is that? We went through a high of 128.80, so about 60 cents we took there. So looking to climb a little bit higher, and that crack of the high a day. It may take some more liquidity in order for us to do so there, Sean, but going to be patient, hold on to this position for as long as we possibly can, and if we have to get stopped out, then we get stopped out, and that is it. But we're not going to look at Tesla for now because I believe it is hovering around the lows still, which isn't a positive sign as some of these big names start to rally and it just doesn't want to participate, so it's lagging on that front. And it looks like the market wants to pull back a little bit here too, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. On the longs today, posted here. All right, so look, we talk about not holding things long enough, but we also talk about making sure that, you do take profit when it's there. And I mean, we already said today, congratulations to anybody trading, period. There's been great levels. We talked about it being choppy a couple days ago. We got chopped up, I think it was the Wednesday afternoon. Today, it's like you go top to bottom. Like we were hoping it would go further than this. We still do have, on NVIDIA, we have about half again of our reloaded positions, right? And so, money comes and money goes in this game for sure. What you're trying to do is build strategies, build confidence, build enough confidence that you can use more shares tomorrow than you did today. Build confidence that you saw something and you learned something today that you didn't know yesterday. Like that's the key, because, even if you made $1,000 today, I'm still coming back, man, tomorrow. Yep. Like the casino is not a casino when you're risk managing properly, and you have your strategies, you stick with them, and when they pay off, you can get great results. And then when they don't, hopefully your risk management helps you and saves your account. So no matter what, I'm here Monday. So what we've done today is today. What we'll do on Monday is Monday. I know that sounds really simple to say, but that is really what matters. Like, we don't know where QBTS is going to be on Monday, but we can trade the action we see today. We don't know what NVIDIA is going to do on Monday, but we can trade what we see. We don't know where Tesla is going to go, but if you don't, we know it's weak. So when we get that long and it pops up, those are some outs for you. Now, I'm waiting for my levels to come into play. Like, I would love for this thing to moon, right? But again, look at the backdrop that we're in. We've really sold off. We've had, 6 straight down weeks or whatever it is there in the market, right? I mean, that high was February 19th. I guess can't be 6 straight if it was February 19th. 4 straight, going into our 4th straight. So, there is possibility that a lot of these names continue to fall down, and we do get into, I don't want to say bearish territory, but that's some of the talk. We haven't really had any settlement down here as far as tariffs are concerned. We don't seem like we have any deals going through. We do have good reports, like from a name like DocuSign, giving us a little bit of green shoots there from today. They're up 14%. We do have the quantum names running. We do have some of the uranium names moving around today. We have AMD back above $100. Other names that we looked at, we have Palantir that made that high to $86 there, $85.50 again. And look at this, right? Like, here we go. You could be a bear today and have absolutely destroyed this much more than myself, who's a bull. Like, there we go. Wait for the top short. Boom, $1.50 there on that number. You're celebrating the other way around. But did you take profits, right? If you're using 50-period moving averages, that would have been a good indicator. So, stay in your lane, stay with your game. And, although Joe and I are here to educate, to show you our trades, to talk about what we like, to talk about pie and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're responsible for your trades. I just hope that we're able to teach, learn together, and hopefully build a strong community where we're getting great trade ideas and all of that. So I don't know if we're going to be bullish for very much longer, though. We're right at VWAP one more time here, and the market is coming back in. That was a weaker than expected number, so let's not get too carried away thinking that the long is the only way to go here today. I'm actually going to piece out a little bit more Tesla as this market's coming in and now just taking out VWAP.
Yeah, good look there, Sean. We might get stopped out of NVDA here,
More
guys,
TQs out.
as we continue to move lower and lower. So a little bit tougher of a look, almost a triple top type price action. Looking for these support levels to hold, but they don't seem like they want to. Looking for that crack of the high a day as well, not coming into play. The market wants to continue to bleed. We are definitely heading into correction territory. And if you're not going to sustain the pop, I thought we were going to continue to climb higher and higher here on this Friday, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. I mentioned that I didn't love the pre-market action, but as we came into the open, we did pull back, which was a positive sign, and then we rallied through the first half an hour of the session, first 20 minutes or so, but now giving back all those moves off of that consumer sentiment print. So yeah, a little bit tougher of a look. I do like DocuSign as a possible short as well too, guys. Not going to hold on to this position much longer as we're holding, as we're going to crack through some of these support levels as we are right now. So going to pop out of this trade here, put on some size on that one. So unfortunately, I didn't take any profits on that name, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, getting stopped out here in NVDA as we climb lower here, Sean. So yeah, that's it for those two. Going to have to be a little bit more patient. IBIT wasn't too bad until that print came out. Oops. Oh, what did I just do there? Okay. Oh, I went short. I didn't want to do that, but
oh man, now you're making keystroke errors.
Yeah, now I'm making keystroke errors. So which is unfortunate, but maybe we'll hold on to a little bit. Okay, maybe we don't want to. We put in some size there, my guy. So as we bounce, I'm gonna send it over to you quick.
Sure. Yeah, let me take
some orders, my friend.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. All right, so that's part of it, man. We're doing it live. Here every single day. So respect over to Joe, who just sort of joined our team a couple months ago. So thank you, Joe, for doing all of that and for trading live with us every day. There's a lot to consider when you're trading live, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, we want to make sure that we're well explaining everything to our viewers, that they're understanding sort of, the ebbs and flows of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then just justify our positions and what we're thinking, and honestly, being able to admit that we're wrong when we're wrong. And, so, all right, so here we go, 119. We don't have a full position for NVIDIA yet. Obviously, as this market comes to the downside, we want to wait. We got to wait for some of these trends to change. I'm going to give NVIDIA 118. So my next bid right now is at 118.50, which is where the 200 period was. I'm not going to change it. If you want to get a little more aggressive on that, you can go to 118.70s. I'm going to wait, man. 118.50. I cannot wait till I tell Neil you've never had pie before. I can't get this out of my mind. He's gonna go crazy. He's a big sweets guy. That's why. All right. So apple fritter. You've had an apple fritter before?
Yeah, I've had it.
Okay. So all right, Neil, you could still work here. All right. So 118.50 coming in right there. That's going to be where I'm going to dip by any opportunities in that name. I'm not out of Tesla yet. And again, you can see sort of the different strategies a little bit. I'm going to wait for 240, a key level to break. That might be stubborn, man. I do like what you're doing there. Get out if there's going to be a wrong trade. That's for sure. Yesterday we did dip into that 240 area. Let's see if this level does hold. I am not buying more until we get down into there. My next bid is 240.50. Okay. We just take a little piece out there. Fine, for profit as the market starts to rally back. Let's now take a little bit more at 241. Let's put a bid down there just in case. I'll just get out. I'm going to put back in what I just got out. So I'll put back in about 15% down here at 241.15. Let's see if that does hold. That's the bottom. So if we want to drift back down into there, we'll take it. We also are hoping for, obviously, a bigger move up. Okay, we are reloaded. Everybody knows the deal there. We're now reloaded with NVIDIA, so it does come into our level. Let's just take some pieces out, man. It's now at VWAP. Bang, there it is, man. It's only 20 cents, but we're going to let this thing cruise to the high side. If we can get anywhere back to 120, where we've seen past resistance, that's where we will get out. Also, we'll get out at the 50-period moving average, which is at 60. So let's just get out 5% as we start to climb up, because, hey, man, we want to be here for when we start to ramp. We don't want to get out of everything. So there's two pieces out, one at VWAP, one at the 50-period moving average. Let's go. Now to the upside and get higher. not ourselves getting high. I'm looking at the stock.
Oh, okay. So he's
getting a little bit high right here. Let's not spark anything just quite yet, man. It's 10:16. My God.
I don't know.
Slow down. What you want? Pie, a little bit of pie, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little pie.
I mean, I'm sure if we gave you a piece of pie, but you had the
everybody
munchies.
speaks pretty good about pumpkin pie, but I just don't see how it can be that tasteful, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Bro, you are about to get kicked off. You better watch what you're saying around.
Hear me. I heard that the Costco pumpkin pie is pretty good, and that I should look into trying it, but I just don't understand.
Wait a minute. You do not like chocolate chip cookies?
I don't. Listen.
You're so lucky I have 3 positions that I have to monitor, or I would be just maybe going for a quick little half marathon run because I don't even understand what's going on, which of course I would just pass out.
Hey man, you got to keep it. You got to
first couple hundred meters.
Hey, put a bag of gummy worms in front of me. Yeah, I'll have a good time. Pie, not so much. Cookies, I was never a cookie guy. Oatmeal was the way I went, and that's as far as I really got.
Okay. Oatmeal raisin.
See, now we're getting ahead of ourselves. You're adding the raisin. I don't like adding these things into the cookies.
What's that, brother?
Yeah, but you're adding oatmeal. I mean, oatmeal.
It's just, but like, it's just one piece. You know what I mean?
You're just straight oatmeal cookie.
Straight up, like dads.
What? Hey, I mean, come on. Look, I'm feeling everything you're saying. It's more the chocolate chip cookie and it's more than the fact that you've never had pie and you've had cake less than 5 times.
Yeah.
That is the thing. What about birthdays? So you're a kid, you go to the birthday party.
Never had it.
Everyone's having cake, and you're just like, nah, man, I'm 8 years old, I'm passing.
Yeah, I'll play pin the tail on the donkey instead of eating.
Okay, well, hopefully there's a couple donkeys there. We have a couple donkeys for sure around here every day, including yours truly right now. And, we're having a great time. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. This has been a fun time. We're just having fun, of course, man. I mean, respect to that, healthy lifestyle for sure. And I can respect the no pie, but let's move on that one. I'll bring this up numerous more.
I'm catching heat, but Sharif yesterday was like, bagels, bro, no way I'm eating
bagels. We all know Sharif has his own little things over there as well.
So,
we all have.
That's insane.
We all have our thing.
Okay, but so then it's so bad when I'm like, hey, I don't really eat pie that much. Not much. I've never had pie, and I'm not a big guy of cake. So it's like, come on. You know what I mean? You can't afford that.
All right, people loving this talk. So, look, this is what we bring to the table. This is what we bring to the table every day, man. Trading, having a great time, and this is why the show was created. Actually, was because trading's a lonely game. So to sit here and just stare at the screen. Let's go already. Yeah, there's stuff like that. It's really nice to do that, and it's great when you're winning. But this is good talk. I think it's healthy for everybody as well. And healthy lifestyles are what we support around here, no matter which way you're doing it. Okay, so just quickly a little bit of talk right now. Okay, Uber. So some of these names, I'm trying to find some names that are maybe a little weaker than expected right now and maybe trying to break some levels. I still have 3 longs. We do have our stops. I'm getting a little nervous because we still are under VWAP, but I do want to hold in case we do break. Uber's getting near a level as well. Back in today's open, we just got that on a scanner, as you can see right here. Amazon, Microsoft, Uber, all coming back into some levels that might be of interest to me. So there it is, coming back into the 200 period. We use e-signal for these scanners, and that's a good look there, 70.50 for Uber. But all right, all joking aside, I'm going to get out a little bit more here. NVIDIA's not screaming the way I thought it would here because the market's not doing anything. NVIDIA's still holding above VWAP, gives me a little bit of pause for the long, thinking that we could get higher here. But I'm not going to be stubborn and just stare at this and not get out as we see it. So there it is, man. We just took out 10% right there at 50s, and it was a good trade. Like, as we were talking about it, look at this. Now we're starting to fall down. This is the risk of taking trades above VWAP. So, taking trades, holding them when we're underneath VWAP for the futures, and your stock is, get something out. So we just did that. Pretty good risk management there, I feel like, on NVIDIA. All right, before we go to Adara, you're in no positions.
I'm flat right now.
All right, so perfect time to throw it. So let's go back over there as Joe and I look for some more opportunities. Adara.
IWM up about 1% here. It did take a drop with the market. And I think what's really interesting is to note the volume in the last 15-minute candle here. Definitely stronger to the downside, likely because the IWM and these small caps, as we know, are a little bit more rate sensitive. So the idea that people are expecting we're going to have higher rates for longer, essentially, or even higher inflation rates going forward for 1 year or 5 years is something that would push the IWM to the downside. We're actually below that $200 level, but it is worth noting still holding on and in positive territory today, despite that fumble there with the University of Michigan Prince. First off here, Sun Nation. This is actually a penny stock here, SUNE, about just under 2 million share float. And they announced this morning that they've repaid in full all of their accrued principal and interest associated with a total of $9.4 million. So keep an eye on that one. We also have XP, no catalyst I could find for this one today, but more expensive here, a $14 ticker with about a $350 million market cap. And last but not least, Transcode Therapeutics. This is a one that moves quite frequently. It's RNAZ. You may have heard it called RNAZ on the midday in case you're thinking that sounds familiar. It's about a 440,000 share float, very small float. From what I'm seeing here, pretty significant short float as well. I was seeing a short float of about 80%. This catalyst from yesterday, so day two, we've apparently company announcing that there's a safety review committee that has given them approval to open a fourth cohort of one of their trials. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Dara. Yeah, guys, just going to be a little bit patient. We're going to see if we can break some of these lows here on NVDA. It's looking like we don't want to construct any new highs, so we'll take a little bit of a short, looking for the crack of this support level. If it comes into play, then maybe we curl around and start to rip. The tape is relatively strong, but we're going to be patient because we did construct lower highs, which is also positive, and then we couldn't hold VWAP. So looking for a break of this 19 level here, Sean. I know you're long NVDA, and the market does seem relatively strong, so it might be on the wrong side of the trade here.
Oh, man, my wife's at hockey. She's like, oh, my God, there's all these people here. They're coming to talk to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we don't like that. We like to say,
Oh, yeah,
hang out
like
ourselves.
do your thing, have your coffee.
Yeah, man, you know, do things like that. Oh, boy. I mean, it's another one right there. There's the TQs, man. And I was just saying, we just sit there right into this, the teeth of this move, man. And just, if you're going to try to support the longs, like this fell right into our pre-market level. We talked about what we were doing here on the TQs. We wanted to look at 59 as our out. So we get along at 59.50, taking some out there at 64, 1-to-1 risk. And then we are now at the highest spot we've been at all day. Look at this NVIDIA, man. Wow. You are now starting to do exactly what us bulls were thinking about. What's up,
Yeah,
bulls?
I got out of that there as it's
Bears versus bulls. As NVIDIA right there takes that 120. Oh, boy.
We got a super chat here.
We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. Take that super chat, man, and you answer that, Joseph. You are the man.
DoorDash, Ben Fisher, $20.
Thank you.
Get this guy some pie. They said, I don't know. Hey, maybe I'll try it if Sharif tries it. So
I mean, if Sharif tries, of course Sharif will try it, man. This guy's, you know, he's down with that. He's down with that.
With a bagel on the side, though. There's
a bagel.
Hey, you know what? Enough for the food talk, maybe. You know, getting
you're tired of it now?
A little peckish here, maybe. Yeah?
All right. Yeah, man, you do you, for sure. You don't have to have any of that special pie. Thank you for the super chat. We'll work on that. All right, there goes NVIDIA right there, back up to 120. Pie or not, man. I mean, whatever right here. This has just been another great day to support the longs. I mean, there goes the TQs right now, 70 handles in the money. Like, these are real trades, man, and we talked about this. People, you know, we have a good time talking food. We have a good time talking all this stuff. But at the end of the day, man, I'm here for my family and for you guys. We're here to trade to make some cash. And you can't do that unless you're leveling up, you're taking those trades, you're getting those confidence. And that's what we've been doing here for at least last little while, man, for sure. Having a great run here, January, February, into March. I thought there was one tricky day this week. Every day is tricky. I mean, this market is not here for the faint at heart, right? I mean, you really got to support your positions. And sometimes, I was even saying this to you and to a couple guys in the back, it's not the greatest market because it's so news-based, and at any time, anything can happen. And, you know, you do have to scalp out, but at the same time, if you flip it on the other side of it, it does give you the opportunities for these outsized moves as well. Because if you're the right way, like if you've been short for the last couple weeks, man, I mean, you're just printing, like you're printing more than you even thought you would. And now today, let's see if that can happen here for the longs. But again, look what we're doing. We're failing at the top again for some of these names, right? So NVIDIA here having a hard time at 20s. So I'm going to offer out and get out some more there at 95s. We only have 60% left from our reloaded positions. And we were getting nervous there because the futures were tanking. We did not want to reload. So right now, let's get out of another 5% here if we can at 80s. And there it is. So we're taking more out as the futures start to come back in. We've done really well on the TQQs here. I'll put another 10% out right now. Just take that in case we do wind up breaking back and coming back in. I am holding out for 61. I do think that we could get going here. If you're looking at the NASDAQ and the Qs in general, this is what it looks like on a 30-minute chart. Like, there is so much room, Joe,
to climb higher,
to get back up there. I don't know if it's going to be a long day or not. It's just so far here today, we got a bad Michigan number, yet we just hit close to the market highs. Like, so for me, there is buyers here underneath this market. You can clearly see that. And I want to see, like, if the Qs break 471 right there, this bottom, then maybe we could talk about flipping over into shorts. But I'm willing to sort of go to the grave here and give some of this money back if the shorts don't print, if the longs don't print, sorry. And so, you know, we're getting out. We only have basically half of all of these positions. The one position that we're a little bit in right now, Tesla, we have half of this as well, but we haven't really gotten out at the best prices. It did rip up to 244, and right now we're not even coming up to the 50-period moving average. If there's one name that I'm not feeling the best about, it is this Tesla long. So with that being said,
I agree with you.
I know you've taken a couple swings at Tesla there as well today.
See, that's the thing with Tesla here, Sean, is that when the market was rallying, it wasn't participating, right? So that's just kind of what you would look for and identify in a weak stock. So the TQs were trading significantly higher, and Tesla went on this this little run here before the open, or actually right at the open, and then just continued to sell off as the TQs were climbing higher. So not a good look for Tesla. Those signs of strength aren't there just yet, like in NVDA and some of the other big names. So just be wary of that. It might take some time in order for that stock to turn around and really get some positive momentum up under it, because down 50%, I don't expect it to just turn around on a dime and then like, oh, okay, yeah, we're down to 245 or whatever it may be, and then just rip to 300 or 350. So not a good look there on Tesla and company. So yeah, I'm going to be patient on this name. I would like to get out of it, to be honest with you, Sean, in the long term. And I told myself I don't want to sell at the lows, because I think that'll be a big mistake. But I do want to get out of the name a little bit north of 300. How much longer am I going to sit through it? Am I going to have to go through some max pain? Because I told you from a return standpoint, we were sitting nice, but then in the past couple months, all those unrealized have been dwindled. So I just kind of want to rotate the space. One company I do like, Sean, and I know you mention it time and time again, it is Hood, right? Yeah. With that 700% increase in crypto transactions. So that's a positive sign. And those are the numbers that I'm looking for. If we were to pull up Tesla's earnings report, it's like, okay, miss here, miss there, no consecutive, even though it does have more sales year over year and it continues to grow, it's just like the EV sales in the EU and in China are dwindling, and there's a lot of competition within that space. So I'm not a biggest fan of Tesla right now. I'm going to wait for Optimus and the Robo fleet to start coming out, and I think that can be a big game changer as well.
You're not optimistic?
I'm not optimistic just yet. I think it's a play in a year or two or so. So that's my opinion on Tesla.
You need a coffee or anything?
I'll take one, please, and thank you.
Well, then it will be
a black, please, and thank you.
Black for Joe also, if possible. Thank you. Rob may or may not be coming with that, my friend. Okay. Coffee goes pretty good with pie. All right, so there it is. So, Joe, like, how funny is that we were just talking about like the stock that we were most concerned about, and then it just drops $2. So we'll wait, man. Maybe there's some news or something on Tesla, but we'll wait to see here what's going on with TSLA. The news isn't working in my ear today, so we're just a slave to whatever Adara has for us over there. But again, we've been getting out of some NVIDIA. I just got out of some more at the 50 period at 70s right now. So again, we're still 50 cents in the money here, but it is coming back in. It's Tesla's the number one name of concern for me right now. TQs, we got some more outs as well at the 200 period. Again, waiting for it to blast, but at the same time, not being stubborn enough to worry about it. Fabian, I keep hearing Adara saying throw, but I don't hear anything from you guys in my ear, so I don't know. Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so perfect, good. So we're still working. Everything's good. All right, just real quickly here, just some super chats, because I never want to miss these, and we want to thank everybody, regardless of the amount of the super chat. You handled the pie fund right there. Get the man some pie. So there's a bunch of pie talks here as we go. So, all right, Marty says it there. Pie fund for Joe. What about a meat pie? You ever had meat pie before?
No, I don't.
Meat pie is great, man. It's a northern thing. I bet you Adara's had meat pie before. North Bay, there's some great meat pies up there for sure. Inflation is horrendous. How are you going long? I don't know. We're at the day's high right now for myself. And I'm going long because of key levels. I trade support and resistance. Look at NVIDIA right now. Everything we have is smoking right now. The TQ's trying to go higher. That's the futures, right? We'll go to crypto in just 1 second. I just want to answer this and then we'll go. All right, so dear Ollie, if you do a great profit on Tuesday, okay, covering your entire week goal.
Okay.
Awesome.
Would you trade the rest of the week?
No.
Okay, your answer is no.
Yeah, no.
No, my answer is hell yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that when we get back. Knowing the stream strategy, would you work the rest of the week and make more? Love y'all. All right, you're going to get 2 opinions coming up after Adara.
Dang.
Here is Bitcoin, which is actually at a pretty interesting level. We're still making lower highs, lower lows generally, but now we're curling into a pretty interesting area here. Last 2 days, we have touched almost exactly the double top tier at around 84.3. Currently here around just below 83,000. So I think whether or not we can break above that 84,000 level seems to be of interest for Bitcoin as of late. That was actually a little bit of support going back here to early November. We also use this area as support in late February as well. So this could be a level to watch out for Bitcoin and this 84,000 range. It's worth noting, yesterday we actually did get the Senate Banking Committee passing digital assets legislation, which would allow for the creation of a regulatory structure for stablecoins. And that would be the first time that a Senate panel has ever advanced crypto legislation in a major way. So big, I guess, record-breaking, noteworthy legislation here being passed for crypto. This is the first of its kind. So certainly something to note here for these markets. It's also worth noting here that there were some, I guess, a post here from Trump on Truth Social saying we had productive talks with Russia. Trump himself did not speak to Vladimir Putin. It was actually their envoy. And now we have White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying there's nothing on Trump's schedule to talk with Putin today, but his schedule could change. So just clarifying here some comments that were initially made and interpreted differently by Donald Trump on Truth Social. We know that any news with the Ukraine and Russia situation can move the market. So let's take a look here. Speaking of markets, how is the crypto market doing? Bitcoin up about 1%, Ethereum up about the same amount, USDT roughly flat here, XRP up about 0.5%, BNB down 1%, but then you have Solana, Cardano, and Doge all up mildly here, Solana doing quite nicely. So interesting crypto space, looks like some mild gains today so far. Back to you.
Just quickly here, we do have, I'm getting more out of Tesla, even though it's basically a flat trade. We're long at 241.50. I just took some out at 70s, and we actually got something out at 242 as well. If this falls back below 240, it'd be a shame because most of our trades today, we don't have a losing trade, but this Tesla could become exactly that. So I'm actually going to get out of some more rate now at 45s and 50s just for flat because, it's an up trade, but that's only because of our average in price. We'll take some more out here at 70. If it rips, it rips, but I'm now out of half of that trade. All right, so someone's asking there in the chat about Big Bear AI. It's on my sticky note today, and I like the trade. I wrote down 350 break on this, I believe. Yes, 350 long break, and look at that, man. 350 has been huge so far there today. You guys are asking, like, what do I need for confirmation? I don't need anything. I just need a break. I'm going long if it breaks that. So I'm just looking here at Big Bear AI. There's 350. It comes into play yesterday morning. Same thing today. If we break that, we're going long, and then I think we're fine. I think we're fine down to 340. I mean, this is part of those trades that I'm talking about here all the time. If you're going to trade Big Bear AI, this could be like a maximum position, 5,000 shares, whatever you want. Like, this is just down there. I think you can use your stop either at 340, which is 10 cents. So that's why 5,000 shares is probably too much. But again, it's only a $350 name. It's a $3.50 name. So if you're going to give yourselves, I like to look at it. You and I probably have never talked about this, but I do all the time on the show. And that is like, I try not to lose more than 20 to 25% of like sort of what my daily shutdown would be on one individual trade. So that's why when you're trying to share size here, if I'm thinking to myself like $500 is the most I want to lose on a day like today, then I would risk about 100 on this trade. So if my stop is going to be 10 cents, then I would break this out with 1,000 shares. Because then, you know, if we get the 10-cent winner, we can get out of half and roll with house money. Yeah. And at the same time, we can also look to defend down here 340 for the dip buy opportunity as well. Yeah, we got the good service. And then I think, Rob, could you get a black for Joe if you get a second? I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay if you're busy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
He was getting mad there. Yeah, so maybe you want to have mine?
No. I'm okay. Trust me. I'm okay on the caffeine. I don't want to get too much of a hot take on the
Okay,
coffee
oh yeah.
either.
So what about that super chat that we just had right there? So the question was, if you make your goal on Tuesday for the week, do you continue to trade? So I respect whatever we talk about at all times because everyone has different thoughts. But what's your initial thought on that comment?
Okay, so this is how I would look at it, Sean. So if you hit that initial goal, I would be like, hey, at what point and how much of this realized gains am I willing to give up? Is it 30%, 20%, or half of it? And then you have to look at it from my opinion, I would look at it from that standpoint. Yeah, you can continue to trade and make more money, which is a positive sign. It's something you also want to do. But then you also don't want to give the rest of that back. So you want to kind of cap yourself and then put in that stop loss here. So it's unfortunate here. You can see on NVIDIA, I pushed really heavy here, guys, and then it didn't work out. And then my position flipped as well, too, which added a little bit more damage to the wound. But again, that's what I would do personally, Sean. So if you made $500 on the week, that being your goal, how much of that goal are you willing to give back up? And then that's what I think you need to ask yourself.
Boom. So we agree. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Is that like the fact that you made you hit your goal on Tuesday, it means you're trading well. It means you
want to continue with
exactly the theories and the strategies and sort of the confidence that you'll have would be probably at all-time highs. I mean, if your goal is $100 and a day, and you just made 500 on Tuesday, which is Fabian, we could just even just go back to me and Joe. Yeah, thanks. And if you make that goal, Joe, definitely. I would even say maybe take Wednesday off then.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like slow down, celebrate, enjoy it. Go buy yourself a sweater. Go buy some pie, whatever you want. And then at the end of the day, or some Sour Patch Kids or gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Gummy bears. You prefer the gummy bear or the gummy worm?
I like the worm more.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like the
bulk barn though. I'm very specific.
I'm down with bulk barn. I definitely like the bulk barn. Do not. If and when you have kids, don't take your kids to Bulk Barn, man, because they will be like, wow, we like everything right there. But nothing wrong with that. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. So that would be my advice. Celebrate it. Take Tuesday afternoon off, whatever. But do not leave the game. Man, it's like, Sharif can't get biceps bigger than his head by just going to the gym and then forgetting about it. You got to go every single day, And so, again, be disciplined with everything.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for that, Rob.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay.
Don't. Do not. Okay, so as we go there, here we go. It's NVIDIA right now. Look at this trade, guys. NVIDIA is rocking right now.
It is.
We are en fuego. We are on fire right now. Like and subscribe. We've got a new position with Big Bear AI. We're $1 in the money with NVIDIA. We're $1.50 in the money on Tesla. Have we seen the bottom? I don't know, but we are definitely long right now and loving all of these trades. So, so far so good here on the day, man. Really, really excited, obviously. It's been a good day to trade, that is for sure. So we're going to celebrate all of that, man. Tesla, bang, $2 in the money. The NASDAQ is $100 handles in the money right now. So we're not stopping, man. We've been here for life, and we're not going anywhere until we eventually do. Big Bear AI breaks 350. We're in that one. Pound the sirens. We'll see what happens with Big Bear AI.
Yeah, nice look there, Sean. See, and here we go. We're starting to get the ball rolling on NVDA. Really good look. I figured, that's the tough part here. Getting out at the lows, okay? So that's really looking, and then playing the break of the low, not the ideal setup when a stock is moving eastward. So that is my fault, guys. Took a hefty hit there, but that's okay. As we break through the high day here, Sean, up 4%.
Yep.
Really good look.
Look at the
If I held on to this position just for a couple minutes longer, I would have been able to stay alive. But at some point, you have to get out, and you don't want to bag hold too much. So put up the majority of the risk on for the day on this single trade. And it's unfortunate with what happened on iBit, still holding about 70% of the position when that print came out, that consumer sentiment. So got out at the lows once again, but still not quite recovering here. Is Bitcoin. You don't want to sit through that, but NVDA is the mistrade of the day as we punch through these highs and that volume being sustained here. So really good look from Sean, and nice trading there, brother. I don't think we're going to Adara just yet. If you guys are looking at anything in the chat, put it in there. I'll go over it, and I will be more than happy to do so. One thing to note here as well, guys, is that Google Goggles itself not hanging out with the rest of its crew. So kind of in the works with Tesla trading below the volume weighted average price. Is the market going to drag it up, and is it going to start to participate with its peers? excuse me, it is lagging. So we'll keep that in note. You don't want to be buying the top of this range, but if we can sit on top of the volume weighted average price, I think that will be good. But sector watch with Adara, guys.
Do this.
For once here, we have a day where the board and what the market's doing are generally in sync. So the market's pushing higher, and almost all these sectors are sharply green. Electronic technology, great look. Technology services, green here. Finance, looking really strong with JP Morgan actually up 2.5%. We still trade a little bit more flat, but Amazon up 1.5%. Consumer services, commercial services, producer manufacturing, consumer durables, energy minerals, utilities, health services, industrials, and transportation, all strong. The only few mixed sectors that we're seeing here, communications a little bit mixed. We know there were some downgrades in that space this morning coming through from Citigroup. Health technology, Eli Lilly to the upside, but J&J, Abbott, and Merck all a little red. Consumer non-durables, meanwhile, just basically flat or red. So lots of mixed sentiment, but generally a pretty good look here for this market. Back to you.
All right.
Thanks for that,
Yeah,
Adara.
thanks, Adara. All right, so let's just break down this BBAI trade. Look, it doesn't have the juice that we had hoped it would, trying to break through 350, right? So it only gets to 352. Like, that's pretty disappointing, I think, no matter which way you sort of put that one in there. So not a great breakout there. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, and that was if it breaks 340, we're out. So this one, 3.39. Let's go to 3.8. If it breaks that, there's not a whole bunch of volume here. I could see it easily wiping down. So we'll put some bids here. We'll take another position at 342 where VWAP is in case we do get that whoosh, and then we'll see if it holds it. But right now, Big Bear AI just not really getting that play in it that, we really did think was possible there right now. There's that 9 break, man. We talked about holding VWAP, holding that 50-period moving average. That worked great as well. And there goes QBTS. Just continues to rock higher. If, again, here's just talk about, I'm not in it, but, I would watch out for this 50-period moving average. Like, it held it. Basically, in the pre-market, it is what it is, right? But now that volume's come in, obviously, we've been open now for 50 minutes. 9:30, yeah, just about 50 minutes right there as we're at 10:40, so just over. But there it goes. So now we can respect this. It's been respecting it all morning, so we really like that trade. So I would say you're holding QBTS until back to 9, worst case scenario. And I would always, whenever we're playing with big runners, Joe, I would always try to play with house money. So just like on BBAI, right? If my stop is going to be here at 340 and it's 10 cents, I'm going to take out a 10-cent profit for half all the time on these runners, because if it goes, you're laughing, right? You're still going to have half on and you're playing with house money. But if it goes up 10 cents and you don't get out of anything, what winds up happening is when it flashes back in and you lose that 10 cents, then you're like, maybe not the right risk management on that. And you may go, like that. I know. Rigetti's moving. Quantum is all over the place, man. QBTS, IonQ is another name as Sharif gets set up for his trade here in the midday as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's a valid point here, Sean, and that's the thing to take note. So we were at essentially a 2-to-1 almost up here, and I'm like, I didn't take any off. I'm going to hold it because I do believe we can get the ball rolling. But then when I took it off, for some reason, it flipped my position to full size. And I'm like, what's going on here? Which wasn't a good look. And then I had to take another haircut right there. So it didn't set me up very well. And it's unfortunate that I'm still, the risk measures there's not much risk left here, if any, at all. So I got to sit on the sidelines for a little bit to wait for that precise moment to be like, hey, am I going to take a next trade? Because, again, we have risk parameters that we have to abide by. So a tough look here on NVDA. We are starting to climb higher. The thesis was right, timing slightly off, and be prepared for those situations, guys. And we also took a bad hit on IBIT. And we were trading this significantly well, but as soon as that print came out, we flush, and then we get out at the lows, and I was still holding about 70% here, guys, as we climbed higher in IBIT, and then we get that print, and it just goes straight to the downside. So that's why having stops in place is really, really key. And Celery too, no, I do not have any kids. So, but yeah, someone in the chat asked me to take a look at SoFi. It's trading pretty nice here, guys. Trade up about 4.5 here on the day, following the cues, which is a positive sign for some of these names here. So I like SoFi. You can see that it's not the most liquid. We do have about 9.5 million shares traded, trading above the volume-weighted average price, constructed a lower high, but then now breaking through it and going to go and test the high a day right now. So that is a positive sign here on SoFi, up about 4.5%. And then I know someone asked us to take a look at AIFF as well too. So Firefly Neuroscience, not necessarily a popular name, and you can see liquidity issues here on the 1 minute time frame. And for a $4 name, it only has 500,000 shares traded. So not necessarily something I would be keeping an eye on. You want to look at how it was in play here in the previous sessions as well too, but now coming back down. Ooh, wow, that's not a good haircut. So down about 66%, it looks like roughly here on AIFF. It is trading with the overall market, and that is a positive sign because it is in the NASDAQ. But from a daily standpoint, not necessarily something I would be looking at, Sean.
No, I mean, again, I feel like it's easier to trade things that are moving in the direction that
exactly.
you have a little bit of a bias for, so I do agree. You know, you don't have to look everywhere. That's the one thing that we always sort of get caught up on, like, what's the next trade? Sometimes you don't really need to have a next trade. You just need to sit, wait, look around for things, but you never know where that next trade is going to come from. I mean, like, NVIDIA right now being at highs of day, like right now, Tesla's 250 in the money. We already got a piece out here, but I'm waiting to get another one at 243.72s. I don't really know. I guess that's almost close. We just got to 67, so we'll wait there. Ahead of 75s. I like to trade against the quarters. So, you know, we're always trying to get out, you know, in and around, again, like 243.50, 243.75s. Maybe this 243.50 is good enough here for Tesla. But it's starting to go, as I said, BBAI is right back to its breakout level again. It doesn't even get down here. I'm not super excited. The volume's pretty much dried out. I mean, it's quite clear that it's Quantum's day today, as all the volume has sort of siphoned over into many of these names. So when that's happening, this is where you want to look, right? I mean, we could check out what the short float is on this name again. I think that would be something that would be interesting to look at for sure. Short float on QBTS. So let's just do that. QBTS and have a quick look to see what's going on with D-Wave there. Short float, yeah, that's why. 36% short on QBTS. So you can see that name continues to run. And yeah, man, I missed it, right? We definitely missed that trade, but this is definitely something that we're not crying over. We're having one of our best days here today, just hitting the longs and staying with them, right? NVIDIA's $1.30. So here's our trades. NVIDIA $1.30 in the money. TQ's 100 handles in the money right now. This is going to be penal number one's NVIDIA, but the futures are right there as well. And Tesla's just really secretly there. Oh, we get that fill right there. So Tesla right there, we just get that $2.50 fill. So again, let's let this market get back to highs. Make the market great again. Like that's what we're trying to do right now. I think there's a possibility for us to get back up into those days highs again. We're looking at 19.6. That's 19.6 has been a pretty key level, man, on the futures. So we'll wait to see what happens there. And I can go back to show you. There's 19.450 yesterday. I mean, I can just zoom back in. There's 19.6 right here. So 19.6, what day is this? This is March 13th. You see, that's that PPI or CPI high where we got into 19.6 and faded out. So right here today, that's 19.6 again. There's the fade. Let's see if we can test it one more time. And if we do, man, we'll be out of like probably 75% of all of these positions. But let's give it that breath to go. Give it a thing. Give it a minute. We'll see if it wants to go. BBAI.
On fire.
Yeah, but it's only 2 cents in the money.
Oh, that's okay.
But we're kind of hitting that for a joke. We'll wait to see what winds up happening. I do have the offer on Big Bear AI at 59s. So we're doing what we said we would do. We're going to take a piece out, half of it out for 10 cents or so, then let this thing ride up, play with house money. That's always the best on a trade like this, in my opinion. Yep. All right, Adara, it's Money Talks. The dollar's been getting hit. I don't know about...
Yeah, today actually we have a little bit of this double top pattern right now here for the DXY from yesterday and today. Both days here getting a high of just above 104s currently for the DXY. A little bit red on the day after a 2-day reprieve from the selling, but currently here around 103.7. Now in terms of economic data, of course, we all know what we're going to mention here. It's going to be that University of Michigan print. So what you're looking for is a stronger than expected University of Michigan sentiment print, but then for the inflation prints, if you're looking to see less inflation, you'd want to obviously see lower for inflation expectations. What we got here was exactly the opposite of what the market was looking for. So University of Michigan 5-year inflation expectations here, 3.9% versus estimates of 3.4%. well above estimates. Then we get a one-year inflation expectation, 4.9% versus 4.3 expected. For the actual consumer sentiment number, 57.9 below estimates of 63. So weaker than expected across the board, as mentioned previously. Now, what this leads to is 99% chance here, according to the CME FedWatch tool, that we will not be getting any cuts. It's not a huge change here, but it's worth noting we've incrementally increased. There was a period a couple weeks ago where we actually went to an 87% chance of no cuts, so about 13% of market participants expecting a cut. Now that chance has almost entirely been eroded, especially driven by this number. 1% of participants only are expecting this cut, so it looks like we are going to get no change when we get that number. They're coming through next Wednesday, but we'll have to wait and see what Fed Chair Powell and his team say. Back to you.
Yeah, man, it's always this wait and see with these guys, right? I mean, Powell, we'll have to wait to see what they wind up doing. But I mean, as Adair just confirmed, and we had looked at this yesterday as well, that virtually no chance there for the Fed to cut next week. But again, you know.
I'm in the same camp as well, too, right? I just don't think they're going to cut any specific reason,
right?
So if inflation, and I think that's one thing that I was talking about too. And I remember when
we're not in a bear market. Whoever just put that,
when we first started monetary policy and with the rate hike cycle, the market was pricing in like 5-6 cuts a year, and I'm like, Jerome Powell's been consistently saying higher for longer. And at what point do you think that, okay, yeah, inflation's starting to become tamed, it takes significantly longer than what you think, but then why would they give any sort of chance to go back into the spot that they just were with reigniting it? So I think that's what Jerome Powell said. He's been sticking to his word for this whole duration during these rate hikes. Now we are cutting, but with monetary policy, you're not going to get those 5-6 cuts a year, and especially in this environment. They want to keep it tame. There's no point in cutting too early, and then you have the chance of reigniting inflation, and I don't think that's necessarily what they want. So.
No, and I think some of those numbers, like we got, that's why I was excited about those lower numbers there with the PPI and the CPI, because hopefully giving them a little more juice to continue with the thought of cuts. And we'll just see if it does come through one more time. Thank you so much for joining us one more time. But people sometimes want to know, what's for lunch? All right, actually, we've had a pretty exciting week of different eclectic flavors and whatnot. I had some tandoori chicken on my salad yesterday, which was pretty interesting. All right, so today we get back to good old Americana here, or Canadiana, maybe. Is that a word? All right, today it's oven roasted barbecue chicken legs.
Okay.
That's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I think that's going to be a decent lunch here with crispy potato wedges, seasoned veggies, chopped salad with a lemon and herbed vinaigrette. So that is what's for lunch. Bad. Oven roasted chicken legs. What's your favorite cut of chicken?
Breast. You know what? I don't even know, because if I say something, Ramin's gonna be like, "That is crazy."
No. So my least.
So
my
I don't
least
even want
favorite
to say
breast.
my palate is now to myself. All right.
Yeah. For me, the breast is a little too dry.
Okay.
So you're going to get hammered on this one as well.
So it's just like, hey, I got to live my life.
Nah, man, I'm just playing around. Yeah, no, I think that's a good. I'm more like a wing guy. I like the thigh. I like the darker meat there. Okay. She's still mad about the chocolate chip thing.
Yeah, she's upset about me with the chocolate. Okay.
And plus the other thing too is she's mad that you stole her Kit Kat.
Yeah, exactly. We have a mutual agreement on the Kit Kat situation.
No, I know, it's because of Sharif.
But see, the thing is, though, I had an issue with the Kit Kat, Sean.
Yeah.
It was broken up in multiple pieces, like someone stomped on it or something along those lines. I said, Ramin, I mean, if we're going to share the Kit Kat, can maybe we get cleaner breaks on it or something along those lines? You know what I mean? I'm not asking for too much, just a little bit of a cleaner break on the old Kit Kats there. So, but yeah, I mean, dark meat, I don't mind it, but I prefer a nice breast of chicken.
Yeah, no, it's all good, man. All good.
Yeah, I think that's what you go with when you go to Swiss Chalet. No, when was the last time you had Swiss Chalet? It's been a while.
I go with the quarter leg.
You go with the quarter leg. Hey, okay.
So not the breast at all.
Okay, all right. I see you. Okay.
Or they have some ribs there. Oh, I love the chalet sauce.
Yeah. I don't think Americans do. They have that in America?
Yeah, they must have like a chicken sauce. I mean, it's
chalet in America.
Well, last night we did. We talked about this. We got Freshie. So and then my son's like, nah, I ain't having no salad.
Okay.
So he got Popeyes. Ooh. So he and I went over there. We got the Popeyes. He got the just a 3-piece tenders there with the side. He got there was a side mac and cheese there that he got. He likes Popeyes. The KFC.
Oh, watch over.
The Cajun.
Excited now.
The Cajun fries. Yeah.
I mean, you go there for the fries, I think.
Yeah. He got, and yesterday was $2 sides or something, so he actually added the Cajun fries. I was like, whatever.
Add some more fries.
To get that. So he's loving life here on break. We're on spring break now here in Canada, and I think it's a little bit earlier in the United States, but right now the kids get a week off called March break here in lovely Canada.
My family used to take me up to Blue Mountain for March break every year back in high school.
Yeah.
He a lot of snow.
Are you a skier, snowboarder?
I used to snowboard.
Snowboard, yeah. My kid went to Mount St. Louis on Monday.
Oh, nice.
Just near Blue Mountain, a little bit of a lesser hill there as he's just learning. QBTS there, making new highs still. So, I just honestly, for some reason, I thought Big Bear AI was going to go. Not that I chose Big Bear AI over this name, but I think the same break could have happened right there. We had seen $9 banging its head against $9 a couple times. Once it finally broke, it went into 9.10, and then that would have been 10 cents. You might have lost on that trade because it did pull back there. But if you just supported that 50-period moving average, then oh boy, you're feeling yourself there today because this continues to work higher, up into $9.60, $10, obviously on watch now. And I feel like someone here today I've said this morning, what is everybody trading here today, right? So I put this out today, 3 hours. I put this out about 7 o'clock or so, and it was right into here, man. Apple, I said, great, short, for Apple, that seemed a little bit funny there, but here it is right here. What's up to I slapped tards? Hopefully that's not too negative. QBTS on watch. I didn't even realize, I did a Sharif thing there where I just kind of read it before I even looked at it. All right, so I don't think it's that bad, but QBTS, do you think it will test all-time highs? What happened?
The name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wild, man.
This is wild. But it says here, I said, no, not yet. There. So thank you again for a couple thousand people that viewed that and participated in that. But the all-time highs there for QBTS, I should have been a little bit more, I still don't know if we get to 1150 anyways, which would be the all-time high. I think it's the all-time high anyways. It's definitely the recent high right there. But 1050, I would say, if we're going to enjoy this run up here today, which many of you obviously have, I would always get something out at 10. It's just such a key level there. I think it's a little foolish to possibly ignore that for sure. And then I would say a Hyundai P 1050. And you know what? If you miss that last dollar, then tweet at me. Okay. A, it's good for engagement, and B, I'll answer it. So I think that's something to look out for. But right now, yeah, you can like and subscribe, all of that, Fabian. You're more than, I don't know if people hear that live. I think that would be awesome if they did. But right there, man, it is now into Tesla. The trade that I was most worried about is now $1, $2, $3, $4 now in the money on Tesla. And what did I say to you earlier before we actually started this? It was, hey, look, man, you never know what's going to happen. Respect the lines. You're up here at the 200-period moving average for Tesla. So we're going to do exactly that here. Try to respect that play and get some more out on Tesla as we approach 245, man. And there it is. We take it out and boom, we slap it out right there. A nice trade for us there on Tesla. We're just absolutely smoking, Joe. All of these trades that I have on board were discussed here. They were all discussed live. I told you why we liked them, what the plan of action was, and what we were doing about it. The TQ's back to 61. I said give the futures a chance to get where, Joe? What was the level?
I don't remember, to be honest.
19,600. Good look, Joe. And that's exactly where we just came back up to. I pulled the chart out. And we said, let's look at 19.6, and that's what just came. 19.625, we are blowing up right now, man. Oh boy, we're now at 2 times daily goal, a little bit higher than that as we continue to go, man. Monster move now, 3x right now actually on the day. So it's been a good one, man. NVIDIA, the TQs are just 175 handles in the money. Tesla's now, we just hit $4. We're now $5. NVIDIA, $1.27. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's about to get even more spicy. Joe, take care. Thank you so much for everything. I'll wrap this thing up. Let's give Joe a second to get over there. All right. Thank you to Bears versus Bulls. Thank you to everybody that watched again here today. I just hope that everyone had a great time. I hope everyone was long at some point and short at others and able to make a little bit of money. And if you didn't, that is completely fine. This is what winds up happening every single day. This market is opened up and we sit here every single day. Please stay tuned for the midday show. Education, small cap names, large cap names, talk about crypto. Everything you need to know is here on the midday. We've got Sharif locked and loaded and Joe, man, putting in the work as well. We want to say congratulations to Obi for a successful trip there down to Miami. We wait for Neil, the man, the myth, the legend. I don't have anything, Neil, but we'll just go drop the money down. This guy comes back on Monday, so get ready for some Neil trading and talk there on Monday as well. Again, thank you for all the likes. If you haven't hit it yet, please do it, and get ready for our midday show. Do you want me to throw it to you or do you want me to delay a little bit? Okay. All right. Sharif's ready to go. So you've heard enough of my voice. So let's get going. Thanks, Joe. You're about to see him in just a couple minutes. Thank you to Ramin, Fabian, everybody. Great talks today. Sharif, please don't mention pie because we don't want to upset Mr. Joe. Thank you so much to everybody. We'll see you soon.
Boom. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome.